Right, hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Congratulations to the winners of the Build Challenge Juliet. I'm not going to say them on stream. People can watch the video. I don't want to spoil it. Hopefully everyone who has won has seen it already. If not, I don't want to spoil it for them. So, congratulations to everybody. Really great builds on Juliet. That was a lot of fun. Some really great builds there. Again, a lot of really close competition. So, that was a good build challenge. I enjoyed that. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. So go ahead and check out that video if you have not. I'm also streaming on Twitch presently. I'm trying to get affiliate on Twitch, guys. So if you wouldn't mind following me on Twitch as well. And if you even want to watch that with the tab muted as well, that will help me out. I need to get I need to average 3 concurrent viewers on Twitch to get affiliate. And I need 8 more followers. So I'd appreciate it if you guys could do that. All right, so going to be working on some builds today. Kind of spent 11 and a half hours working on the Juliet video yesterday, so I don't have too much time to play with builds, but kind of late night I started being able to get into it. So let's go ahead, and I've been working on the crane a little bit. I was trying to do some testing for putting it on rails. I was going to try to do one of the on-off rail vehicles where they drive in the land and then get on the tracks. We might try playing with that, see if we can get that to work or not. Not sure if I'll be able to get that working up to my standards, so we'll have to play with that. But crane's currently working well. Like to try to get either make a rail version or make this so that it can go on the rails. So a couple options there. So let's just say that as mobile crane. Made a couple updates on the Patney. Let me go ahead and we'll bring up the Patney and I'll show you the changes I made. Trying to get in the top 5 again this week. I was in the top 6 there for a little bit. So if you guys do want to check out the Patney and you do enjoy it, please consider giving it an up duty. So I made some changes to the Patney. I had accidentally, I think the color needs to change. I think I gave the wrong color. On the side windows. I accidentally deleted, so I put those back on. This had to be an XML window to get that to work. Somebody was having problem finding door latches. Again, usually you just look around the door till you find it. Right here is the door latch. I also put on the Steam page where those are, and I labeled them. So you can see they're hood latch now. And the door latches come up there. This one you can see, so I didn't put anything on that. What else did I do? I changed the steering sensitivity from 10%. So, talked about this before with my steering stability controller. So, when you come in the steering stability control, you have a p-value. If the p-value is too high, it depends on a number of things. Diameter of the tires, how fast you're going, things like that. And so, the p-value is going to overshoot essentially what you want. So, what you're doing is you're setting the angular momentum you want. So instead of setting the angle of the tire with the AD keys, you're setting the angular momentum you want. And so if the p-value is too high, it will overshoot. So if you say, hey, I want 1 angular momentum, so you move your, say, A key all the way to the left, and you say, I want 1 angular momentum or -1 angular momentum, if the p-value is too high, it's going to overshoot. And so depending on the vehicle, generally how fast the vehicle goes. So if the vehicle is very fast, as you can imagine, you know, you're trying to change direction in a fast vehicle, you're going to hit that 1 angular momentum pretty quickly. And so the issue then becomes, you know, the p-value is can overshoot if it's too high, and so it's going to go back, forth, back, forth, back, forth, and it's going to oscillate. And so you get a little wiggle. And so you want to decrease the p-value until you get no wiggle. Then sometimes people say, oh, well, now it doesn't steer fast enough. Well, that's when you come in the seat and you want to change your sensitivity. So that's what we were having. I had that tuned in, no wiggle, and the sensitivity originally was 10%. It was not quick enough, so it was good for if you're just driving on the road long distance. But if you're trying to make a quick turn into, you know, say the hospital, which I did some testing last night, it wasn't quick enough. So I increased to 15%, working well now. So those are the couple changes I made on the Patney. They are annotated. I'm trying to make sure I annotate all of the changes on these builds so people can find them if they want to know what changed. So if you go ahead and we'll look at it here. We got change notes here. I've annotated all the change notes, so let's make sure I did everything. Let's see. Yep, changed steering sensitivity, fixed the windows, added door labels, added hood latch. So those are the things that I fixed last night. So those should be good. So if you are using the Patney and you might want to go get the latest version of that. All right, so let's see. I'm going to try to make this my basis for some of my land vehicles, kind of my new base model. I'm going to pull out microcontrollers, and that will be usable at that point. Let's go back to the mobile crane. I need to quickly do a little bit of Tarkov stuff here in the background. Just if you've never played Tarkov, you get, you know, I've got my hideout working. I had to collect insurance, or else you lose it. So stuff like that. It's the it's the job portion of Tarkov. It's not just a stash simulator. It is also a take up most of your life simulator. So that needs to be done from time to time in Tarkov. So got the cranes working pretty well here. You know, I tried doing some derailing stuff, so we'll probably do some derailing tests. When it first came out, when the new train mechanics first came out, you could twist the train wheels to get them to come off the tracks. Just lifting sometimes doesn't always work well. And then I was having issues where even if I could derail it, it was then giving me issues where my engine wouldn't run. So I was getting some funky behavior. So I would love to make a version of this which allows you to go on and off the tracks and then tow it by the train. But I have to see if that's going to be possible. So it's going to be a little bit playing around with that, see how that works. But it'd be nice. This crane is mostly done, which is nice, because we really do need a good crane for all the times that stuff gets tipped over, and just standard if we want to load some stuff with that. And then I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to be doing some of this multiplayer mining. You know, we may be using a crane to load the trailers, maybe doing road railer, and I kind of want to do a combination. I like having a little bit of a varied methodology with some of that, so that will be fun. All right, Tarkov is cleaned up. All right, perfect. So I also worked on the supports. So, you know, there's an upper limit to the force you can put on these magulls before they'll detach, and then they click on, click off, click on, click off. They're quite annoying. So if we put the supports down now, I have put on 4 magulls. They're also wider, which will give us a more stable stance. And so because there's more magulls, they're going to have less stress on each magall. That's going to help spread the load out a little bit and make us a little bit more stable. So I wanted to do what I had on the fire truck, but I just don't have the space, and I don't want to rebuild it. Like, if we look at the fire truck, let's see. So here's the fire truck for the JSI challenge that I won, and then let's go over here. I really like these supports, but they take up a lot of room. So let's see, front supports out, forward supports out. Do I need power on? I might need power on here. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, so I needed the APU on to get the power. So that's how these work here. They go out, and then they go down, and they lock. And that's how these work here. So they're a little bit cumbersome. They're not terrible, but you see they need to be too wide. You can also use a gripper, which the gripper is even more space, is almost, it's about as space conscious as this. You know, because the grippers are too wide, then you need a track for the gripper to lock in. So they're kind of equally useful there. And then I kind of probably going to need the magulls anyway on the crane to get it, because it's gonna have more weight on it as it rotates than the fire truck will. So that's kind of how the fire truck supports work. You know, so the crane, I think the system works fine for the crane as is. How's it going there, Citrus? How's it going there, Guarded Halo? Congratulations. How's it to you guys? How's it going to Eddie W? How are you? How are you? Yeah. You know, it could have been a new player. I tend to, if somebody asks something that's a simplistic question, I tend to say, oh, maybe they're a new player. You know, that's kind of how I rationalize it, is they could be a new player, and what's obvious to somebody who's seasoned, you know, is not obvious to somebody who's new. You guys got me inspired to making some, another ultralight. But some really great ultralights. I enjoyed everybody's. Pretty much everybody stayed within kind of what the spirit of the challenge was. A couple people get some dings here and there on that. I was a little bit more, I don't know, aggressive on dinging for spirit of the challenge things. You know, because trying to keep people in line on that. But some of the, let's put it this way, a bunch of the winners got dinged a point on spirit of the challenge, and they still won. You know, because the preponderance of the other things, like let's quickly look at the rules for the challenge. We'll talk about it for a quick sec here. But you know, like with anything, right? You know, think about a math test, right? If you answer the hardest question on the math test and it's worth 1 point, you know, you could also answer the easiest question on the math test, which is still worth 1 point. So keep an eye with the, you know, on. Jesus, if I could find the right channel, we'd be in great shape here. I was in the right channel. Okay, if you look at the grading here for points, you have Spirit of the Challenge, so that's pretty much just make what I ask you to make. Every challenge, I get a couple people who want to build something completely out of the pale. Pretty much, I would say everybody, but maybe one built pretty much, you know, what it was supposed to be. Most people were on the Spirit of the Challenge. Those who lost like 1 point might have been like pushing what I would consider an ultralight and moving more into airplane territory. But again, I think the most I took off for Spirit Challenge was 1 point. Human factors is just how easy is it? Am I able to interact with it? That can be a little bit challenging to get in there. But again, for example, like there are a couple where I had to look at the panel to control the throttle while I was trying to land. You know, if you've ever watched pilots when they're landing, you know, your hands on the yoke, your other hands on the thrust levers, and your eyes are outside. And if it's completely instrument flight conditions, your eyes will be on your instruments. And so you know, now we can't necessarily do that in game. We can't have our hand on the thrust lever. But what that allegory is the WSAD keys and the up, down, left, right. That is hands on the yoke and hands on the thrust levers. And so, you know, when I'm flying an airplane IRL, I have my hand on the yoke. Yoke does both pitch and roll. I have my feet on the rudder pedals. That does my yaw. And then I have my hands on the thrust levers. In game, you know, WSAD takes care of your pitch and your roll, left, right, yaw, and then up, down, your throttle. So that's why I like those keybinds, is it gives me that realistic ability to keep my hands on and my feet on everything that I need to keep them on in order to land. So, for example, human factors, you know, some people's builds, you had to actually look down and press a button to change the throttle. If you watch some YouTubes on commercial pilots landing, you'll see that the thrust levers are almost always moving unless they have auto throttle on, which they're always moving with the auto throttle on, because every time you pitch down your nose, you're going to gain airspeed, you need to pull back the thrust. Every time you pitch up your nose, you need to push up the thrust to regain that airspeed. And so you're constantly, if it's gusty, you notice the thrust levers are constantly moving. You can hear it when you're coming in to land. If you're in the back of an airplane, you hear the engine spool up, spool down, spool up, spool down, spool up, spool down. And so that's one reason I don't like 1-2 as thrust controls, because I need AD and then I need to reach to 1-2 to do my throttle. I'm constantly making changes. Even in the video, there was somebody's build I was landing, and I was telling you every time I made a thrust change, and it's constant. And so, you know, if the human factors where I can easily interact with the vehicle, that's a little bit more challenging. But like, if you want to get some points on that, you know, ask about standardized. You know, what's the standard controls people are using? You know, what controls does Captain like? Ask me. I've had people ask me, what are your preferred controls? That helps me interact with it. Make sure buttons are where they are easily accessible. You know, if I need a button in flight and I have to turn around and get out of my seat and get it on the floor, that's not as convenient as being in front of me. You can use the stuff in the seat, too. That makes it nice and convenient. Handling, again, that's a little bit more challenging. Aesthetics is personal preference, and that's a lot of just experience in the game. But this is the big one that I see a lot of people fall down on, is workshop page. You can gain a lot of points back. For example, there were some of the challenge winners lost a point in Spirit of the Challenge, as their ultralights were verging on probably a little bit too big and expensive and too many features, more airplane-ish, but they had excellent workshop pages. So as they lost a point here, they gained that point back here. You had a couple people pretty much had no workshop page besides one picture. They got a 1. The people who had the best workshop pages, who had details, had explanations, who showed me where all the buttons were, who made my job a lot easier. Somebody was asking, what do I want in a workshop page? I don't think the guys will mind if I show theirs, but I'll show some of those. Like, the main thing that I really need is I want instructions. And one of the reasons why I put on the workshop page grading is, it took me 11 and a half hours to do the video yesterday. And if I could look at your workshop page, which I'm going to read anyway, and I can easily find the instructions of how to operate your vehicle, then I get in the vehicle and I feel familiar with it already, and I can start it up and I can go. I've had challenges before where somebody doesn't put anything on the workshop page, and I've crashed the plane 3 or 4 times trying to take it off because I have to try to figure it out. I have to go back to the workbench, and I have to actually dig through their microcontrollers to find what is controlling what. And that eats up time, and that's one of the reasons why I grade the workshop page. Is the main thing I want on the workshop page, too, is, it's important to me that you explain how you want your vehicle operated, because it saves me a hell of a lot of time. I can't spend 25 minutes on each build. The guys who would put really good instructions there, I got in, felt familiar with it, knew where everything was, go, and, they had some of the shortest recording times. We'll go through some of the really... Citrus, you don't mind if I show your workshop page, do you? Just send me a quick message there, Citrus, if you don't mind. But, there were some, I like spacebar for brakes. Some people put their park brake on that. I get that. That's not a big deal. But, you can always ask me what I prefer for controls. But, the big thing is, some people did I wouldn't say some people. There was one person pretty much who had a really unconventional control scheme. Pretty much everyone else had a really conventional control scheme. And so the person with a really unconventional control scheme, it was a nightmare for me to fly. I talked in the video about how the, you pretty much, you get in an Airbus, the control scheme's the same as if you get into, with little tiny tweaks into a Boeing. If you get into an Embraer, if you get into a Gulfstream, if you get into a Cessna, they're pretty much the same. It's standardized for a very important reason. It makes it so that a pilot can get in plane 1, fly. Plane 2, fly. Imagine if you got in a Boeing that day, and the ailerons were on your feet. And then you get in a Embraer, and the ailerons are on, push-pull in the yoke. And then you get in this one over here, and it's push buttons. It would be a nightmare. So they standardize them for a reason. All right, so, and that was a big human factors lesson they learned over here. So, here's Citrus's, I always harp on this, and if I harp on something, it is something that I think's important. And so keep that in mind, too. So if you're trying to get some extra points, a good thumbnail is the only reason somebody's going to click on your build. If you have a thumbnail that's not great, let's look at a couple. I don't want to pick on anyone who was in the challenge, but look at some of these here. Let me see. Oh, that's most popular, so let's do most recent, because the popular ones tend to boot. But look at these. These are pictures that it does the default picture. The people didn't even take a picture, didn't edit the thumbnail. These type of pictures, people, whether it's right or wrong, they will not click on it because they assume it's low quality. And so part of the challenge is I want people to, have a popular build. I want people to try out their builds, and so you look at the difference between this picture here, that's called piece of shit, and this one here that has a really nice engaging thumbnail. I want to click on this. Stuart 5K, I've been seeing this one. This makes me want to click on the thumbnail, and then if I click on the thumbnail and I go in here, and it makes me want to read some of the stuff. Now, this is wall of text. That's not the most inviting thing, but you notice that's a build that I want to click on. These, not so much. The in-game picture it takes, even if your build looks really good, it will look like crap when it's just one of these default pictures. It's good. This is another one good to click on. I don't personally like the vehicle frame on there, but that's a personal preference. But I still want to click on this because I can see somebody took the time and effort to make this thumbnail. There's probably a strong corollary that they took the time and effort to make a good build. And so that's one of the elements of a workshop page that I think is important. A good thumbnail for that reason. Let's go back and we'll grab Citrus's. Let me go back and we'll grab Citrus's build here. I'm going to get the link up from the... Get the link right up from the Discord. All right, so good thumbnail brings you right in. Some good pictures gets people to stay on your build. You know, and then coming in here, like, a lot of people aren't going to care about a story. It's kind of nice. It tells me, like, what inspired your build. You know, it's nice to put in there. I like some of the funny stories. That's not 100% necessary. You don't have to do that. Somebody was asking, like, what would help with workshop page. This is another nice detail, putting some specifications in there. This made it really easy for me to quickly check. Yep, mass and cost. I also checked it in game, but like that makes it easy there. Rotation speeds on there, stall speeds on there, makes it easy. You know, Citrus put in it wasn't that complicated, but it was like an extra piece of tech that I had to learn how to use. But it wasn't a big pain in the ass because I could quickly look at this. And for example, I wanted to switch to the speed page, and I knew that if I pressed 2, I would get to the speed page. So it didn't spend or waste a bunch of my time as I went through this. In the video, I quickly looked, okay, press 1 or 2, switch over to that. And then when I got in, I felt familiar already. I wanted speed, pressed 2, got speed, off to the races. All right. And then here I had a problem with one of the builds where it said something was on the right side. It was actually on the left side. Citrus, it took me an extra second to find this in here. But, you know, he showed me right where it is. I had to just crouch in the wheel to get to the breaker. So I knew right where to look. You know, I had it back when I was doing the build reviews, you know, early in the build reviews. Somebody put no instructions, and then they got pissy with me that I couldn't figure out how to operate their complex machine. And it wasn't that I couldn't figure it out. It was that they put no effort into showing me how they wanted it operated, so I was going to put in no effort into operating it. You know, and I'm not going to spend 25 minutes on your build because you didn't give me instructions to how to start it. When somebody else, one of your competitors, puts in all this good effort. There's a good bit of effort here. It shows me where things are. It was pretty much a piece of cake to start Citrus's build here. I knew, okay, breaker, starter, and we're good to go. You know, flip engine run, starter, good to go. If I had any problems looking at this usually stays on my right monitor. I quickly just glance over and look, and okay, that's where it is. And it was piece of cake, and it was easy to find. That helps me. You know, the main thing I want with a workshop page is let it be inviting so that people actually want to click on your build. Make it so that, you know, it has some information about your build, and that, you know, I can figure out how to operate your build in a short period of time, because a lot of people are going to do this. They're going to click on your build. There's going to be no information. They're going to try to operate your vehicle. And they're going to get frustrated because they don't know how to operate it. And the first thing they're going to do here is they're going to press this little down thumb here. And that, you know, that absolutely, like if you were trying to get in the top 5 or whatever, trying to like have some people try out your build, you know, one down thumb is a big check against your vehicle if you get a down thumb on that. So, you know, not that it's the most important thing in the world to get the upvotes, but you know, like looking at the top 5 here, you can pretty much start to see some trends. Nice thumbnails on these. They make you want to click on it. Like, we'll click on mine here, you know. So we have a thumbnail that makes you want to click on it. A bunch of pictures showing the build. You know, I don't put too much story in there, but like I told you what it was inspired by. A little bit of a picture, some specifications, how to operate it. You know, this is a simple vehicle. It doesn't need that much. What the H menu looks like. Somebody had asked here, how do you open the doors? You know, they couldn't find it. Is it something that a seasoned player could easily find? Yeah, but they might not be a seasoned player. So I just put a couple pictures here showing where the door and hood latches are. You know, it was something I didn't even think was necessary, but people were asking, so I stuck it on there. You know, so little things like that. It just makes it so that your build is more likely to get actually used in game. And a little bit more approachable to people. Let me find another build that I want to kind of go over the workshop page. I'm only gonna do the ones that that had good workshop pages. But like one workshop page here from Nug that was good. Like this was based off his father's ultralight, you know, so it was kind of cool to have some pictures here. So like even if I was surfing the workshop and wasn't gonna actually download any of this stuff, it's kind of cool to go through and see, oh, this is based off of this ultralight. No, that's kind of nice. It's nice to see the real world example of it, you know. So you know, there are a couple that had here. I'm not going to pick on somebody from the challenges, but like if we click on one here, we can find like somebody who has nothing on there, like one of these with nothing on there, no description, nothing. So like, you know, some people use it as a storage repository, which they shouldn't be doing. But like if you did this and you wanted to download this and use it, and there's nothing here, and then you know, you can't figure out how to use the build, you got to wait, you got to comment, and then you got to wait for the person to respond, and hopefully they tell you enough information to get the build started. You know, that's a pain in the ass. You know, we can find some of the most popular ones here. We can probably find some really good ones here. Joffretti, you know, really, really nice thumbnail on there. Lots and lots of good pictures to show off the build, show all the different things that they did on this, all the hard work. If you don't even want to read all this story here, there's your startup procedure. Climb into the crew compartment, button is on hatch. Throttle to 50%. Activate engine pressure pumps by pressing the key to your right. Flip on rocket mode, switch to take flight. Only when coming home, press the helicopter mode to activate the rotor. It controls like a normal helicopter. All right, so right there in 10 seconds, you know how to run this build, subscribe, and use. You get another build that doesn't have any information. It's much less likely. Somebody's even going to click on it. Here's one by York. You know, some information there. There's my controls. So that's what I like to see in a workshop page. A little bit of effort. Again, it's worth 10 points. So let's put it this way. The person who puts in, the person or people who have the best workshop pages are going to be up around a 10. The people with the worst are going to be around a 1. And the people in the middle are going to be in the middle. And if you maybe, you know, you're not that great at making something look nice, or you're not that great at making it handle well, a great way to get some points is to make a good workshop page. You know, it's worth just as much as other things, that good workshop page. So some people had asked how to get some more points. Workshop page is the easiest thing. It takes a lot of work to get the skill to make something look good. It takes a lot of work to be able to, you know, to be able to get the engineering perfect. But the area that's reasonably fairly simple that I think most people can gain a lot of points is that workshop page. All right, so let's catch up here with some chat. How's it going there, Amanda? How's it going there, Callum? How are you? You know, one thing I did for a bunch of people that either did not have an approach speed, or I thought their approach speed was not correct. It was a little bit off. I did slow flight. So slow flight's something you do IRL. You slow down, and you will generally get in the configuration for landing, because that's when you're going to be doing slow flight, and you will fly right at the edge of stall, and you feel the airplane. And so, for example, I did that on a couple people's builds where there was somebody, they put their approach speed, I thought it was too low, and so when I was going the speed they wanted, I could no longer pitch. I lost pitch authority with my elevators, and this will happen IRL. Your controls become less effective the slower the air is over them. And so I would do like a couple seconds of slow flight as I was over the water, and I could tell what speed I had full control of the aircraft, and I was comfortable controlling the aircraft, and that was what I made the approach speed. So, you know, as somebody who has a lot of flight experience, I can easily quickly do that. For somebody who has never flown anything, it's helpful to put on that workshop page, this is the speed that I've tested it at, this works well to land at the speed, you know. Amanda stalls at 5560. Yep, that was a good slow flyer. Yeah, that's the thing that, you know, one of the reasons, like Citrus says, that the workshop page is always the least fun about the challenge, but important. I agree. I don't like making workshop pages either. But the issue is that, you know, I imagine if I didn't have that rule on there, and the reason I put the rule on there was got a bunch of workshop pages with no instructions, and now I have 16 builds with no instructions, and the video is going to take 22 hours to make instead of 11 hours to make. So that's one of the reasons why I did that. I changed some of the rules on my review channel, which I plan to open at some point. I'm going to take a little break after doing this video for reviews, but you know, part of the reason I added a bunch of rules on the review channel was the build has to be able to be reviewed in 10 minutes total. So that includes me reading the workshop page, and reviewing your build can take no longer than 10 minutes. And the reason was, like I said, I used to get some builds that had no instructions, and it would take me 25 minutes to get the build operable. And I would have the build just like randomly stop working and just like fail on me. And it would take me 25 minutes to record one. I was trying to do 5 at a time. You know, so if I'm doing 5 builds and each build takes 25 minutes to record, that's brutal. And then I have to go edit them. And so I wanted, you know, builds that could be done in 10 minutes. And one of the big common denominators there was if the workshop page is good and it has clear instructions, I can get in there, I can get your build going and started, and I can actually review the thing. And the other thing, too, is if you're trying to get your build reviewed and I'm all pissed off because I just spent 25 minutes trying to figure out how to work it, the review is not going to go great either. You know, so it's in everybody's best interest that the the build, you know, that I understand how to use it. It's not a frustrating experience. So, big advocate for that. So, how's it going there? Hey, GGVR, how are you? Egver, how are you? How are you? Good to see you on Twitch there. But, yeah, so here's the crane. Crane's mostly done. I never say anything's done, but I'll show you a little bit. I think some people might have missed what I did. So, new supports on there, but I did a little bit off-screen. The cool features I added was I have my rear views here showing me either side facing rearward, and then I have my forward views here. So I lose a lot of visibility over here because of the crane arm, and it's captured here. So if I need to make a right turn around, let's say I want to get as close to this hangar door as possible and get tight to it like I'm on a road, I can easily use those cameras. That's what I came up with. So you can see I can use the camera, I can get nice and close to that door there, and then I can pivot off my rear tires here, and I can get right next to that door and not be afraid to hit it. I can make my turn. I know, I'm going to clear my turn now. Even though I'm right up against that wall, even though I can't see past my crane, I can get right around it. What did I change that is now making it not steer? Change something that is not steering. Okay, there we go. We're steering now. No, we're having a steering problem there. I'm probably hitting something with the wheels. Gotta look at it. Okay, I'm probably hitting a battle cannon piece or something. Let's see, does it go left? Alright, so I have a little bit of potentially even phantom forces there. It's only one direction. Yeah, see, we're getting a little bit of a hang up there. So I'll have to figure out what's causing that. But for the most part, the crane's working well. Mostly have everything I need in here. So, yeah, but that's a big help here is the cameras. And that's another thing from the gimbal update that was cool. That really helped. Let me see what is causing this phantom force here. Was it the door? Could have been the door clipping on something. Because the door was moving opposite. Nope, it's not that. Alright, it's probably the tire hitting something if it's like that. It could be the tire hitting something. So, like right here, it's having some steering issues. Alright, so what I wanted to do was, I don't think I saved the version. I don't think I did. So I was testing this. Let's see if we can find some road and rail vehicles. So they have these vehicles that are pretty cool. They use them to work on the rails, and so what they do is they actually, well, there's a bunch of ways they work, but some of them they just drop down these little rail wheels, and then the actual tires of the vehicle are on the top of the track, and so they just drive normally, and so that's kind of, oh Jesus Christ, tiny little picture. But you can kind of see here's a Unimog. I love Mogs. God damn, I hate these tiny pictures when they do that. I don't want to click in the article because it takes like 10 times as long, but it gives me a proper sized picture. So here's like a Unimog. So the way this would work is this is just an axle, and the axle rides on the rails, and the tires ride on the rails. And so all you do is use the same drive system you would normally have in the Unimog, and the wheels turning will ride on the rail and push you. And so you have these service vehicles that will do that. Some of them are powered at times. Let me see if I can find one that's powered. So they do it a bunch of different ways. Like you can see, the rail has worn a patch into this tire there, so the tire's actually propelling that one. There's a Mog. So there are some that the rail wheels actually, then you'll have, like, see, you see the drive axles are on the back. That one just has backs. I'm trying to see, there are some where the tire actually touches a gear, like a big a gear transfer, and that will then operate it. Here's an excavator that has the attachment for actually pulling ties. And so this would use its regular tracks, but that makes so you don't have to steer it. You just ride along the rails. But so a bunch of cool stuff. So I was trying to do that. We need to play with deraillers. I've tried it before in twisting work. I know Phil made a video where he did straight up, but that was right when it released, so I don't know if they've changed it since. But I know they have made some changes to derailing. So we'll go ahead, and I want to play with that a little bit and see if we can't come up with some system, because I tested it last night. It worked on the rails all right, and then I was having problems where I did not want to derail, and then for some reason it was completely killing the drive system. So not quite sure what's going on with that. How's it going there, Daniel? Good to see you, good to see you, good to see you. Yeah, but you know, so we'll work on that. If you guys don't mind, if you have not followed me on Twitch, if you would watch me on Twitch as well. I'm trying to get that average up. I need an average of 3 people viewing at a time so that I can get affiliate on that. Let's buy, where is it? Reveal, nope, not reveal map. Unlock all properties. There we go. All right, so I want to work on a derailer system here. I had one on this already. Once you drop them down, they lock on the tracks. The issue then becomes, I think they want to be of the same body too. You know, it would be kind of cool to make this so they could just go on and off the tracks. It would be one vehicle. Likely what might have to happen is I have to actually go in here and I have to make this so that it, essentially what I'll do is rip out the wheels, put in train axles, and then it will run off the engine. And then it will also have couplers, but it would be kind of nice if this could also just run on the rails. So we need to do some testing on this. So I'm just going to, I think, start something clean, and we'll do some testing. I've tried a couple methods. I want to see. Brute forcing it, like I was even trying to use the supports to lift it. Did a twisting. Twisting used to work pretty well. I couldn't get twisting to work properly or in a small enough space. So that was the other problem, is I don't want to make it too small. So I'm trying to kind of mimic the vehicle itself. That crane is quite heavy too, so it was, you know, that could play into it as well. All right, so let's get some wheels on here. 5 bangers maybe. Okay, so let's go up a little bit. Go on the left side, not that it matters anymore. They used to orient bias to the left side before they changed some mechanics, but... Alright, so let's we go out of block on either of those. But that was a fun challenge. If I could have, you know, I talked in the video, if I could have done some things differently, I would have put some more restrictions on there. I like what people came up with, but, you know, it was a couple days after I locked the rules. I was like, I should have put a cylinder count limit on there, and I should have put a fuel count limit on there. I did not fill up anyone's fuel tanks. I didn't have to. Even, like, a couple people had those single small tanks. Didn't have to fill it up. I was going a short distance anyway. Now, you know, it started getting into, like, you can see people in the chat kind of, you know, in the comments, commenting like, oh, mine can make it to Tajin, mine can go 250 knots, and it was kind of like, it's not really what a ultralight's all about. It's kind of, you know, short distance, you know, like, I specifically said that you didn't have to follow the actual rules of like the laws of ultralights, but like, you know, real 103 ultralights, you're limited to 5 gallons, so that if you crash into somebody's house, you only have 5 gallons of gas you're spilling everywhere. You know, so that was something that, you know, I probably should have put in there. Should have put a cylinder limit in there. You know, that was a big part of it. It was really hard to get a small engine to give you enough power. You know, a larger engine was, of course, a piece of cake to get off quickly. And so, you know, I would have put a limit on the engine size well if I did it over again. Let's see. Let's try. I don't really like the look of that. Let's go up a little bit. So I need it to sit on the rails. So I already had the crane up on this. I put a picture on the Discord last night of that. So up one. Okay, up one. So I'm kind of just using this, seeing if this is even possible. It might not be, to get this to derail properly, because it did not want to derail properly last night. You know, it makes sense. Like, when they first came out with this, things were derailing a little bit too easily. And so the devs went back and made it a little harder to derail. And the problem is then that makes it more challenging to make derailers if you do that. So, you know, again, that's kind of a balancing thing that, you know, every balancing pass, they take away something that one person likes for somebody else, you know, and that's kind of the thankless job of balancing is, you know, you end up taking away somebody else's fun to make sure somebody else's fun is possible. And so, you know, sometimes those balancing passes are the hardest pass because it eradicates somebody's fun. That was kind of like talking with the moon pools, and you know, they took a lot of sinking ship survival community and made it harder for them to do their sinking ship stuff, you know, so that moon pools could be possible. So, like, if we try to go straight up like this with the hinge, it's going to try to lift the vehicle, and it's not really strong enough to break the connection. You used to be able to twist them, though, and twisting, I tried twisting last night. Twisting was not working well enough either. So, like, this is kind of, you notice that snapped on the tracks. Vehicle will slide, and then if we go up, it's gonna infinite electricity, please, son. It's gonna freak out as you try to go up. They being fed? Nope. What, did I not hook it up? Probably didn't hook it up, right. Let's get rid of the other one. I might have actually started playing with the other one. Yeah, there's this one. That one's not. What the fuck happened there? How did that get deleted? Annoying. Some of these things I don't even see when I delete them. You know, I think part of the way the train works, too, is I don't know if it always wants to attach them if they're not part of the same body. So there's attached. And you see it kind of goes nuts when it does that. It does not want to lift straight up. We could try doing a push method to lift it straight up, but why the fuck is this one not connected now? It is connected. It's just not doing dick. Interesting. All right, so that one's not doing dick here. So one of them was working, the other one was not. So that method, I tried that last night. That doesn't really work. The other method that worked when this first came out, which it appears it no longer works, was doing a twist. If you twisted them, especially, well, I'll test it opposite directions, because you have to think of like how derailing works in game and in real life. Is it's generally on a corner. So when you turn down a corner, the front axle will try to twist off in one direction. The front axle is going to be more twisted left. The rear axle is going to be more twisted the opposite direction, and that will derail you. So by twisting them opposite, we used to be able to with a very tiny bit of twist, we used to be able to derail. The problem was derailing was too easy, and that makes it so that, you know, that would make it so that people got pissy that the derailing was too easy. Which way is that moving? That is twisting that to the right. So let's twist this one left. Okay. You know, so the devs went back and they made it harder to derail. And so That was great for like the person who doesn't give a shit about derailing and just wants to be able to not have to worry about it when they build a train. But it made it a little sucky for those of us who are trying to make stuff like this that we kind of need the ability to derail. All right, so let's put one here. All right, this is going to be the derailer. All right, so that's the derailleur right there. So we used to be able to twist these off the tracks. We'll see if that's really possible anymore. Like, you didn't need much twist to get... Okay, that looks derailed. That looks derailed. Let's see. What the fuck? There's nothing working? What the fuck? No, they're rotate targets. It just... They really don't want to derail. Like, the devs really made it hard to derail now. They were pretty easy to derail, and now they're... Like, you see, we're still on the tracks. You know, that's part of, like... I get it. Like, the community was bitching that, oh my god, my train derails every 5 seconds now. And so then they go back and they just, like, overdo it. And they make it so that, okay, screw it, we'll take derailing out altogether, essentially. You know, you have to be an extreme use case to get a derail. You know, so I get it. I get why those things happen, but it can be sucky that they take away another functionality. All right, so let's try a press up on directly off the rails. So what I'll do is let's try just a straight clear press straight up. It's not the way I would like it to. Like, I should be able to just lift those off the tracks, but again, they have to gamify it and they have to balance so that the people who don't want things to derail don't have to have that happen, and the people who do want to derail get screwed. But that shit happens, you know. Okay, let's try with the set of... Trying to use the specific train axles, so I kind of want to keep testing with those. Because those are some of the most compact, and I want the most compact ones. Like, I was easily able to get on the track yesterday when I was testing, but I couldn't get off of the frickin' track, so... All right, so we'll try a simple press-up method on this one where it just tries to press it off the tracks. I tried using the supports, and that was not working, so let's see what we can do. I'm trying to think, probably linear track's probably going to be the strongest. But yeah, it used to be very easy to derail stuff. Now it's more challenging. I don't need that low. Go there. Just try simple blocks here for now. Maybe with friction blocks on the bottom to try to just get a little bit extra press. So that it doesn't want to just... Because it will try to just start tweaking and angling things. So I'm trying to get them to go straight up and down. And then to give them some strength, I'll try to make them off of the same subgrid so that hopefully they're a little bit stronger and we can get them to behave. Okay. So let's see. Like, it would be cool if they added a derail button on here. Like, you know, a little button that you could press and it would just derail them. That way you could integrate that in your system where you were like, you know, where you had that and you press the derail button and it will, you know, so as you're raising them, it derails them automatically. That would be kind of helpful. That's the wrong one. Up there, down. Okay. So, like, that's on track. You can do fucking nothing? What are you doing here, guy? Why is that doing, dick? Did I not plug it in? I didn't plug it in. I'm having a bad habit of that. No, I did. I friggin' knew I did. What the hell's going on here? Up? Up. They have to be up. Okay, that's why. I hooked the wrong node. That would be why. Alright, let's do it. Alright, yeah, I think they just really... They really made it hard to derail now. They really did. They went super overboard on this. I think, because people are complaining that I can't stay on the tracks, can't stay on the tracks. Well, the problem is, listen, I get it. I wasn't playing with trains that much, but like, there are probably some people trying to do 300 miles an hour around a curve, and they're like, I can't stay on the tracks. Fix it, fix it, fix it. Oh, the game sucks. And so they're like, okay, we'll just make it so they're glued like a mother to the tracks. How's it going there, Rasmus? How are you? How are you? Yeah, a derail node would be nice. I really think that would be good. Well, I frankly don't care about if they moan about a derail node, though. That's the thing, is like, how does that pick their pocket? You know, like, I'm happy for people to a certain extent, complain that, hey, I'm trying to go fast in a train. I know it's probably not realistic, but I'd like it not to come off the tracks. And so the devs like, screw it. We'll just make it so you can't go off the tracks. But then, like, if they're like, all right, you can't come off the tracks anymore, or it's very incredibly hard, and so we're going to put a derail node. And if somebody complains about adding a derail node, be like, how does that pick your pocket, dude? That would be my response to them, is like, how does that pick your pocket? Like, don't push the button if you don't want to come off the tracks. Deltars did talk in the Q&A about, like, some people had some interest in trying to, like, take a train off the tracks and put it on a boat. You know, so I think a derail node would be a good thing. So I think this is just going to be a fool's errand trying to get that to work. I think I'm all right with converting. Let's convert the crane now, because I'm trying to think of other stuff to do. Let's convert the crane now to the train. And then, so we'll make a version that runs on the tracks. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to make the version that I want, which goes on and off the tracks. But we'll make a train-only version, and then if I make big changes to the cab or systems, I could pretty easily cut them in and out. So let's go ahead and we'll kind of rip some stuff out of here. So really, with the train, I don't really need much in the way of... weight, because it's glued to the tracks. Like, overly glued to the tracks now, so I don't need a ton of weight. So cutting out some of this to service the to put in axles is not a big deal. So I'm just cutting out what I can so that I can easily see what the hell I'm working on. Part of this is for the multiplayer series. I want to be able to easily get us anything we need, where I need to the 900 times I'm going to need to crane us and fix things. What is going on with this hole? I don't know what that hole's about. I don't know why there are holes there. All right, so let's grab some crane wheels. So let's see if I can get a 3. I think I tested a 2 assembly will fit in the back last night. So let's go up. A 2 and a 1 probably is what's going to go in there. So I want to have something that for the multiplayer, I can go ahead and inevitably, when we need to load things on and off the train, I can just take this. Then we can use it. Trying to think of the height. Do I want it higher than that or not? Probably not. What's it hitting? If I go down 1, I don't hit any vital parts. That's pretty good there, I think. That's just weight that I'm hitting, so that's fine. And then this will not fit in the front end, so we're going to put a single in the front. Just be kind of like a conversion. Straight up conversion, like they took the crane and they just converted it to be on the rails. No way I can get 2 in there, is there? I don't know, this is iffy. I might be able to get 2 in there. Let's see. Oof, we're close. Yeah, we're 1 block off to get 2 in there. What's it hitting? Useful stuff or unuseful stuff? Not really useful stuff. Okay, good. That'll fit 2 in there in the front. All right, and then we can put facade in there. I can change the wheel well design up a little bit. I want to be able to hook it back into the drive system, so get that off. Well, actually, I should probably just did that with symmetry, but that's fine like that. And then drive system can come right up in there, and we got a space to put the drive system in. All right, good. All right, I can't see shit with that. Clicking all the time. All right, and then did you just kill me here with this? Okay, that needs to, that's gonna have to loop up around anyway, so that'll loop up and around. All right, good. All right, so I see what's going on here now. Excellent. All right, so we should be able to run the standard transmission through this. This is well lowly geared, so. This will, I'm trying to like consistently build tools we need for multiplayer and get them kind of in the toolbox so that we are good. So that when I can do a multiplayer session, we just do it. I don't have to worry about it. Okay, and I think this one is in the collision zone there. Is it? I think this one is. Yep, that one's in there, so that's not a big deal. We'll just go to the right. Actually, what's this? That is... Okay, that's the air. So that's not being touched. Okay. Now I need two off of this to get around. That kind of gets into my facade territory, so we're going to put that like so. Okay, good. But yeah. You know, so I kind of, you know, it sucks when something that you like is balanced out, like the ability to derail, but, you know, it's something I can understand why they would have to do, you know, it's different people wanting different things for the game, and, you know, sometimes it's going to just, the thing you liked, the use case you were using the game for sometimes gets balanced out, and it sucks when it happens, but, you know, it's kind of the way it is sometimes is, you know, kind of have to change it to make it approachable to more people sometimes, and fortunately sometimes that decreases complexity, or it decreases your particular enjoyment. Shit, did I cut out, what was there? Did I cut out micros? No. Okay, that's all right. I just want to make sure I didn't cut out microcontrollers there. I'm going to change the wheel wells up and just try and make it, I could just take like the crane, the top of the crane off, and put it on the train car. I might still do that, but this is just, I'm trying to make it quick and easy so that when we want to do a multiplayer session, we can just kind of get going on it and not have to, like, I don't have to spend 900 years completely redoing the chassis of the crane. I just want it something that will work today that I can then, you know, when we do play a multiplayer game, that we're good to go and we have a tool for it. And then I can refine and make the tool better later. I just want something now. Is that manifold piece the only thing that's screwing me? It is. All right, so let's get rid of you. I don't need to go all the way around with manifold pieces. Now where am I going in here on the cover blocks? Right there. So we can do a regular here. So we're supposed to be getting something, a minor update this coming week, so I'm curious what that's going to be. You know, the title I don't think was an accident. They said fixes, reworks. You know, so they're doing fixes and reworks coming up. You know, it says upcoming fixes and reworks. So I'd say, you know, potentially some of this module engine stuff that is still currently quote-unquote broken might be a rebalance where they're changing the mechanics, hopefully to add things like turbocharging. You know, I certainly don't know anything about it, but that would be cool, you know, and it would explain why they don't put out more hot fixes. Is, you know, if they already are, if they're changing the system, they kind of did this with filters, as they changed the whole way filters work. You know, they they took parts away and people complained, and then eventually, you know, they came out with, and you kind of knew why they took the parts away, because they're changing the paradigm. It was a paradigm shift in how filtration worked. Instead of just being a magic do-all filter, you know, Beginner even talked about that. He was chatting in general one day, and he's talking about how, like, you know, they got rid of it because it was just this magic do-all filter, and it makes sense because it's like, you know, trying to make it more like you had to actually use centrifugal separation for slurry instead of just having a filter that magically deletes slurry or separates slurry, and you had to, goddamn symmetry, and then you had to do fractioning to get the oil spun into its different properties, you know. And so they like took out the filter. People are like, why would they take out the filter? They're so dumb. And it's like, they're changing the way it works. Chill out, dude. Yeah, I understand if people don't agree with the direction, but like the point was there, that was the point of why they were doing it. They're trying to make it more technical and make it so that if you want to fraction, you actually have to do fractioning. You know, not just stick it through a magic filter, because, you know, a bunch of people would just be like, magic filter, done, you know, and then they get bored and they, again, blame it on somebody else, than that they shortcut it around the way that they were supposed to do it. All right, let's clean this up paint-wise, and then at least this will be usable, and I can, you know, I'll probably take like a standard train car and work on that later to kind of get that a little bit more zhuzhed up. But at least we'll have something we can use, and I can either, I can edit this, make it look prettier, and I can also make one that's kind of designed to be a train car from the start. But this will just be a good stopgap to get me to the point where I have a good train on the rails. I can start to move trailers and containers on trains, and in a pretty quick fashion. Doesn't need the sports anymore, but they'll be glued to the tracks. But hopefully, unless I deleted something that was necessary, this should run. I gotta hook up brakes and stuff like that, but yeah, do that at some point. All right, you're sitting on the tracks there. I got a little something. Again, that will get decorated later. What working? All right, so this will have, we'll put on some, you know, some couplers too, so that this can be coupled onto the train. And that way, you know, this can be dragged along with the train, but, you know, we have a, a vehicle that will operate on the train tracks. Go ahead and set the brake. I don't have the brakes hooked up, but should be able to go. I have to put the sports down, which I have to change, but you know, maybe leave the sports on too, because you kind of want, you know, you don't want this thing rolling off the rails either. They're usually so friggin' heavy, they're not going to roll off the rails, but you know, those don't look attached anyway, but we're glued onto the rails, so I'll probably get rid of them. But this, okay, are you moving? It's getting stuck here. There we go. Well, that'll give me something we can work with, and I'll zhuzh it up, make it look a little bit better. I'm kind of happy. I'm happy with how it turned out. I was gonna just grab the top of the crane and stick it on a train car. Might do that anyway, but for the most part, this is working pretty well, and this should be able to pick up some hefty bullshit, and should be good. So speaking of that, let's go get some hefty bullshit and try to lift it. You know, so this is one of the methods for multiplayer mining that I was thinking would be kind of cool. Let's do what works with the new air brake system. Just this, pretty much. I have to rework some of the trucks to work with the new air brake system. So this works. I know this works with the new air brake system. I have to work on the trucks to get them going. Let's see. Let's do the right thing here, there, and let's go. There it is. There's the new dump trailer. I still don't know why the fuck that's raising. I have to look at it. Broken at the moment. That should not be raising. It's supposed to be if the pressure's high. Why is your pressure so friggin' high? It's like it's overpressuring when it first spawns. Hydraulic send. Where is the storage? Storage send. Return. Okay. So, gotta figure out what I did wrong with this. That's a pain in the ass. Okay, so it spawns with too much pressure, so I'll probably, you know what it is, I bet you those diesel tanks are full when I start. They should be empty. I don't, actually, they should be full, I don't know, I'll play with that system, figure it out. So kind of the whole thing would be, you would, you'd have a train down, so this is more for iron mining, so I'm trying to do each mining method different. Whatever that was all about there. Oh, the fucking landing gear. Damn it. I put the fucking landing gear up. Stop moving. I put the trailer brakes on. It's dragging the trailer. Oh, I didn't even hook up the trailer lines. Fuck face. I didn't hook up the trailer lines. God damn it. Set the right brake. I have never dragged the landing gear. I know a bunch of people who have, though. I used to see all the time people driving around with their landing gear down. It's like, put your fucking landing gear up. Or break the trailer. Alright, dragging the landing gear. That's what would happen in real life, too. The landing gear rip right off. They have a little bit of resiliency, but they do break pretty quick. How's it going there, Cubics? How are you? How are you? Yeah, but I think a derail node would really be good, you know, because, again, like I talk about, it's getting pissy about balancing issues. I don't think is the right strategy. You know, it sucks. It's absolutely sucks when the gameplay you enjoy is balanced out, and that happened a bunch, you know, especially after pressure. Like, they got so much shit, whether it was deserved or not deserved in different areas for certain things, for trying new things. Whether, you know, they didn't all work out, certainly. But they were trying some things, and I think they need to have some room to try some things. But the, you know, they balanced out some cool things that were cool features. They were cool ideas, but they weren't going to work right. They were going to be too complicated or too much of a pain in the ass, and that happens. It happens with every game. They balance things out, and they're like, oh, that was a cool idea. It was a cool feature, but it just didn't work. And that happened a lot with pressure. It was cool. It was a cool idea to get blown out of a room, right? Delta P changes, right? You have a very, very high pressure in the room. You open the door, and you get pushed far distance. You get flung away. That was cool, but it had so many issues where, like, you had too much of a pressure imbalance. If you didn't make sure each room was equalizing itself, you were going to get a problem where you literally got thrown out of your ship when you opened a door if there was a pressure imbalance. If you got flooding, you're going to get thrown out of your ship. And so that, as you can see, needed some balancing. And so they took out a cool feature for that reason. You know, they reduced the pressure. Like, a lot of people were thrilled that they could put ridiculously cheaty amounts of hydrogen in their rockets because they could pressurize to ridiculous levels. Well, the problem was you get blown out of your ship. So they kind of had to balance away some people's fun to make other things work and to make the game more reliable. And it sucks sometimes when they do that, but again, they have to do it, you know, have to do those balancing passes, and sometimes, you know, a thing that you like is going to get balanced out for hopefully the greater good. So there we go. So that is proof of concept. That works. So this should this works fine to be able to load these onto the train. So, you know, when I talk about, like, when I get a drought of what I want to build, or, like, when people can't figure out what they want to get built, or they use the standard word, I'm bored. One of the ways you can fight this boredom is, like, this is starting the multiplayer series and just coming up with a theme of, I want to go mining. It was as simple as, I want to go mining. And because I wanted to go mining, I need all these vehicles. And that really helps keep you from getting bored sometimes, is, you know, because I needed all of these vehicles, it really helps you to, you know, come up with some ideas of what you should make, you know. And that was really helpful to me to come up with some inspiration for builds was, you know, go ahead and, you know, go mining. That's going to really make 20, 30 different vehicles that we need between trailers and train cars and power units, and working through the different kinks of all these power units and getting them working correctly. And okay, you know, you know, Manda and everybody else tips a vehicle over every episode. So let's go ahead. This should be detaching. I gotta fix that. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I don't mean to pick on Manda. I just think he'll think it's funny. But you know, somebody's gonna tip over. Fuck me, I didn't mean to grab that. That was the one thing I didn't want to grab. Somebody's inevitably gonna tip over a vehicle, and so we need a crane. So that gives you another vehicle you need. All right, so let's do crane. All right, crane. Fuck, I have another one. Train. Jesus Christ, I have more shit here than I. There we go. I always run out of names because I've already used it. This is the other one. Oh, this is a piece of shit. Okay, this is getting dumped. This was a test. All right, that's getting dumped. Okay, good to know. I should have just copied over that. All right, good. So that we know that works. That's good to have. I'll pretty it up later. But so let's see. So often the trailers go in these well cars. I might just use the well car. Let's see. It's called a container, even though it's well car. Yeah, so that's a good way to fight boredom, is just to, like, come up with a thing you want to do and start making all the builds for that thing, and then go test. Like, a lot of people, they never actually play the game. No. Building is playing the game, let's put it that way. But they only ever build, and then they say there's nothing to do. I think that's a lack of imagination when people say there's nothing to do. Like, does it ever look like I'm having a problem finding shit to do? You know, there's always something to do. You just have to kind of, you know, get your imagination going. Think about what you want to do as goals, and then go friggin' do them, man. You know, I don't understand the, you know, there's nothing to do crowd. It's like, what do you mean there's nothing to do? There's everything to do. It's a sandbox. You know, get in the sandbox and make some toys to play with it. You know, that's the whole point of a sandbox game is, you know, sandbox, innately there is nothing to do in a sandbox. But you bring the stuff yourself. It's a box of sand and cat shit, and your job is to go bring in your Tonka toys and, you know, and start to move dirt around, and that's your job. And it's the same thing here, is we have a mine. There's shit to mine there. Go mine, you know. Let's go check this real quick. You know, so you start thinking of all the cool things you need to be able to mine. And once you get on that, like, little rip of, oh, I need one of these, and I need one of these. Oh, it'd be cool to bring it by a train. Or, oh, it'd be cool to have a road train to do it. Or, oh, it'd be cool to do this type of vehicle inspired by X, Y, or Z. You start to really figure out what you want to be doing. All right, so the way these well cars work IRL is they have a fifth wheel that goes right there, and they actually drop these into the wells like that. And so they sit in the wells like that, because usually they're 53-foot long containers, and so the trailers are also within 53 feet long. And so then they hook them to the fifth wheel right there, and they actually sit in the car like that. Now the problem with this build is you know, the containers are much smaller in game, so this has a divider in it. So I might just build a standard I kind of want a well car, but let's build something bespoke for these. So that's 45 feet long. 13.5, I think, is 45. So let's build a bespoke car. I've been kind of enjoying building a little bit of train cars here and there. All right. You know what? Let's not do that. Let's do this. Again, I keep trying to build shit from scratch, and I'm trying to get away from that because it takes friggin' forever. And then the other thing I want to build today, or at least think about building, is when we do aluminum, you know, they do a lot of aluminum mining in Australia, and so they mine bauxite, aluminum oxide, and it's actually kind of cool if you have any of that technical interest in that sort of shit. The aluminum mine is pretty cool because you get alumina, which is aluminum oxide, and then they do electrolysis to remove the oxygen, and they remove the oxygen, and now you have aluminum. So it goes from alumina to aluminum. So it's kind of cool. So they melt it, and then they pass electric current through it, and you get it essentially cuts the bond to the oxygen, and then you get pure aluminum from that. It's kind of a neat process. So Australia does a bunch of road trains for their aluminum mining. So let's see. I probably shouldn't have done all that bullshit I just did. Let's undo a little bit here. Let's undo it all. I want to see if we can. I might be able to make a well car that takes one container that will also fit a 45. I doubt it though. That's gonna be tough. Let's see if I can find trailer. Train car. See if we can find some rolling stock here. They have a bunch of different ones. The well cars is what I'm used to because they also use them for containers, but they do use these cars as well. I have some pictures of these cars as well. So let me see if I can find. So like they'll do these flat cars too with them on there with fifth wheels, kind of like that. There's a TTTX flat car. I'll see if I can find some wells. Here's a TT. Oh, it's Western Pacific. I thought it was a TT. Like here they are in a flat car. So they do load them on these TTTXs. Let me just open this picture. It's actually not bad picture. It's actually a really good picture. It's very high res. All right. If you look here, that's the fifth wheel. And so it's actually kind of neat how they do this. These lay flat. So if they want to put containers on, these are single stack rail cars. They can put a 53-foot container on these, and you notice the nubs. There's the. I love how this picture zooms in. It's actually absolute bullshit. Here are the nubs. These nubs actually slot into the containers. There's a nub there, and then there are two nubs right here, and there's one right here on the other side. That's how the standard container would load on. Nice penis in the background there, spray painted onto a trailer. Never seen that before. That's the number one thing everybody spray paints on everything. But so that's how they put it on. These are single stacks, so they can't put two of these on, or they won't make it under bridges. And then they load. These are pups. These short ones. These are pups. And so the pups, they can load two, and they can load one 53-footer. And so generally, if they're going to put a container on, these fifth wheels lay flat. These just slide back here, and they lock into place. So they'll unlock them. These will slide down. The fifth wheels will lay flush. It will lay flush with this rub rail here. And then the container sits over the fifth wheels. And then when they want to use the fifth wheels, they use this trailer, and it has a big post, and it has a strap, and they pull a shifter up next to the train. They hook a strap to the fifth wheel, and they drive forward, and that's how they pull it up, and it locks into place. They detach the strap, and then the picker will lift up the trailer, and it will slide it into these fifth wheels. They lock into place, and then they can load the trailers onto the train cars. So that's kind of cool. So I probably want to make one that can fit pups too. So the pups are 28 footers. So let's do a little math here. 28 times 2 is 56, and then we'd say, oh, I don't know, 10% is going to be another, I think 10% is too low. Let's say 20%. So we're talking 11.2 plus 11.2. So we're probably looking at, we want 67.2 foot long containers, or trailers rather. So I think that's what we'll do. We'll do single stacks. What the hell is that? What are those? For those 48s? Those look like 48s. A double stack of 40s. Here's a well car. This is what why they have well cars. Is the well car allows you to stack this all the way to the height of the rail. You notice how the wheels are forward and aft of the containers. And so the wheels are forward and aft of the containers so you can get them lower so you can do a double stack. And then if you look here, you can see this is the fifth wheel right here on the full-size well car. And so they'll take, they generally don't put pups in these. They do sometimes, but the pup's a waste of space because, you know, you're putting a pup in a full 53-foot long well car. And so, like, you can take, these are 48s, it looks like. No, it says 48. I bet these are limited to 48. But you can put a 48 in here. And so, like, we have 45-foot trailers. And so you could take a 45-footer and you could put it in here and you snap it into the fifth wheel. And there are these flat plates on the floor where the wheels sit. So you can load trailers into these as well. So intermodals are cool. That's like a big thing with logistics. It just makes everything so much easier to load. Like here's one. You can see that actually this. I know it's Lego, but open the picture, you donkey. Here's how the fifth wheel mechanism works. This one's a ramp car. This is kind of neat. Maybe this is what we'll build. This will. Look at this. My brain is now thinking of fun things to build. So we'll build one of these. We'll put ramps on it. It will have a fifth wheel. It will also be able to load containers on the side rails. I have to measure that. That's going to be a bitch to measure. So we'll have container, be able to hold containers as well. So these look like they're dual ramped. That's interesting. So I wonder if you can ramp shit up. Yeah, these are ramps. That's so the wheels will go over the height of the fifth wheel, and you don't low center. So this is a ramp car too. This is really cool. I'm gonna actually I'll put that on the bar to remember that one. That's super cool. So that will add the ability to put on containers, trailers, and ramp load vehicles. That will be cool. But here's another one here. This is like you see how these are doubles. That's probably so you can put pups on there. There's a well car. But that ramp car is really... Here's a ramp... no, that's not a ramp car. That is a square box car. Those don't go down. There's one showing pups. Let's see. This is how the pickers load them. Here's a picker here. The picker picks up the trailer. That's why it's called a picker. Picks up the trailer. It will slot it into the fifth wheel there, and then you're locked into position. So a flat car there. So this gives me some good inspiration. This is like when I can't figure out what I want to build, it's good to just kind of like start looking at some pictures. You start like, I wasn't all that thrilled about doing this until I saw that this could be like multi-purpose, do a bunch of different shit. There's one sitting on a flat car. So yeah, so I think we'll do that flat car. We'll do it as low as possible. Let's look at some of the details of that flat car. So does have axles underneath, so we're gonna have to do the shorter axles on the train to try to keep it low if we want to do a ramp car. But some cool cars here, so interesting to look at. There's a bunch there. But yeah, so this is kind of cool. It'll give me some good ideas to what to build. All right, so let's go ahead and I'll start working on that. But yeah, I think that's kind of neat, you know, coming up with a bunch of different features for that. So do I have anything that's partially done that could be... I would like to not have to start completely from scratch. So let's see if we can convert something, because I have, like, some of them already have the brake control panels in here. Like, let's start with this. I'm going to rip this all to shit, but at least I have something to start with, and I'm not starting completely from scratch, because that's kind of annoying. I'd rather cut a little bit and then be able to have all the brakes plumbed and everything else. Watch, then I'll want to rip apart all my brakes and do air brakes for the train after that. Yeah, eventually I'll want to do air brakes for the train, and then I'll have to convert everything back, but it's not a big deal. All right, so we have ends and couplers on this. How low can we go? We could go, ooh, we can go low, low, low. All right, good. So let's go ahead and we'll split this. But yeah, that's a good way to get some inspiration. Start looking at pictures of things you want, and then bingo, it goes from there, and you start pretty quickly being able to do this stuff. So what are the block? Well, let me see, 29. Let me see, 29 is the length of a container. 29 divided by 4 is 7¼ meters. A meter to feet. 7.25 meters is 23 feet. Yeah, so each container is a little bit shorter than a pup. So that should work pretty well for me. How's it going there? Ida MR, how are you? These, here, let me paste it. I think there are some that are a little shorter that are, here, let's paste that. I think these sub-assemblies are maybe shorter. I'm not 100%. Yeah, these are a little bit shorter, Rasmus. Yeah. Yeah, these are shorter here, so. All right, and then I need to get the guts out of here. I have a bunch of micros I need to pull. Because I want to be able to ramp stuff up on this too, because I wanted to make a good-looking, convincing vehicle you can put land vehicles on, because we're going to want a tractor to bring with us for this. So, you know, to have a tractor, we need something. That can go forward one. All right. There we go. All right, and then we can cut all the way into here. And I'm pretty much tearing this all apart after the whole point was to try to get something that was somewhat built, but just like even not having to dick with colors too much is helpful. And I have the microcontrollers. Eventually I'll make like a set alt, you know, with couplers, and so I have to, the couplers are gonna have to change height. Get a bunch of rework on this stuff, but it's kind of to be expected. So which ones? So these are all smaller wheels. I don't know which ones I like of these, so we'll kind of test a couple. See which I prefer. They're not going to be powered anyway, so we don't need to worry about that. So those are the smaller wheel assemblies here. That is A, B. Let's test them all out, see what I like. At present, I can't tell what the friggin' difference is. What the hell's the difference between these two? What the hell's the difference? One of them powered, one's not powered? That one's not powered. What is the difference between A and B? They look the same. Flanged A and B. Is it the wheel hubs? Wheel hubs. This one is complete flange. This one is like scalloped. Okay. C. So they're all just different flange designs anyway. That one has some spokage. That's kind of nice. I like that. I like the flange with the spokes. Delta, what do you look like there, Delta? That one has just, it's like a triple. Okay, I think this one's my Johnny right there. All right, this one's probably my Johnny right here. All right, let's see. The photo has dual trucks on there. Let's go triples, I'm thinking. Oh, Albania's here. Excellent. All right, so this will get a nice low height. I'm going to have to raise the couplers anyway, but I'm trying to... Yeah, I don't like the look of these as much as the other ones, but you know, the big thing here is, again, I want functionality, and the functionality point of it is going to be, you know, can these can I ramp load stuff on here effectively, and that's kind of important to me. So I'll lose a little bit of the form to try to get that function up. Alright, so that's nice and low, but then I need to see what my standard height is. So let's save this. Alright, ramp intermodal. Alright, let's load up the... Five. Alright, 2. Okay. That needs to go up 2. I knew I was gonna miss something. Every time I do that, I miss something. Big pain in the ass. It really always is. Like by a lot too. I don't know how I don't see it. Okay. Alright, good. So that is the main juice of that, and that can go underneath. That is the crane controller. It can go. So I don't have a crane on here anymore. All right, good. That needs to go. That can move somewhere else. So this whole row needs to go. Kind of lose the coupler top on that. I'm going to do an angled coupler on this. So we'll cut it. We'll angle the tongue of the coupler. Yeah, let's do that. We'll angle the tongue of the coupler on there. Because like these supports, I don't know why I have these out so far, but these need to come in. Actually, no, they expand. That's why I have them out there. I forgot that. All right, this will get an angled coupler on this particular model. So this will cut and go up like that. Because I want to have it can go up 1. So let's move that up 1. Let's do this first. Get rid of you. I don't need you at all. I do need you. You're going to come. We're going to put you on the side here. This can go up 1. That will reduce the level at which I have to do the tongue on that. Because I want to be able to ramp vehicles up on this easy, and the higher it goes, the harder it's going to be to ramp vehicles up on top of it. So there we go. That's all redone. All right, good. And then these need to go. These should be up all the way on, I think, top level. Yeah, they should be on the same height as the coupler itself. But the ramp's going to be in the way there, so I'll figure something out here. Let's just leave them there for now. All right. I'll figure something out for that later. They can go up 1 at least. I could even go like that. noise, camera. Come on. All right, so that's pretty good there. All right, we'll deal with that. And then they should go up one more, but I'm not going to. This tongue needs to go up more. All right, there we go. So that's pretty set up, and then I'll just dupe that one on the other side. Let's get rid of microcontrollers. I don't need that. Is blank. Annoys me when I call stuff blank. I saw that a lot of people spilled their stuff as blank. I'm like, blank. Boom, linear track brakes. Okay, that is the crane. I saw so many people with blank. It's like, you need to go find something, and it's called blank. It sucks. Okay, train brake controllers is the one I want. All right, and then I'm pretty much going to dupe the other side, and that's going to go across. So, all right, so let's see. 67 feet. Did I do that in meters? Let's see. So I need 67 feet at least. So 67 is 20 meters on the nose. 20 meters, 0.4. So we'll do 20.5, I'm thinking. Total deck length. This is a deck measuring contest. See, so 20.5. All right, so that is desired length. That'll let me put 2 containers on there, a couple two pups, and I should be able to put a 45 on there. So that's going to give me versatility. So I want that. Let's just, I don't think I have anything on this I need anymore. This, yeah, the coupler's duplicated, so that can go. All right, let's grab and delete all this shit. We'll dupe the other side and move it over. I'll readjust where the connectors go. Camera is being DPI huge today. Why are you so high on the DPI, guy? Camera is dancing all over town. It's annoying. All right. Copy that. And so this is the deck length is right there. I deleted the wrong thing. All right, there we go. So that is about the length we're looking at for this one. I'll see if I can get a different axle in there. I don't really like the way this looks, but I need to... I'm trying to test the mechanics first. If the mechanics work, then I'm good to like deal with detailing. I want the mechanics to operate first. And then once I get the mechanics operating the way I need it to, I can work with everything else. But I really need the mechanics to work. I need to be able to, like, the whole point of this being a ramp trailer is I need to be able to get a ramp on here and get something on it. And if that's can't be done, I need to move on and do something different, you know. So to then make that work. So ramp. So what's the width of this bed, John? I need to test the width. 15 is where a lot of my trucks are, so it needs to be at least that. We'll see if it meets 15. 11. So it's a container width. Be a bitch to get on big. It's gonna be a bitch to get on big vehicles, anyways, because I don't have anything that's 15s. I think. All right, so let's measure out containers. So these are 29s. Right there, and then 29 off this. 29 off that. And I'm not running full 28-foot pups though. I want to be able to put on standardized trailers too. So that's kind of why I'm doing this. Could shrink this up a little bit. We'll see. I put in a big factor on there for putting that in. So that's 2 containers. Let's see. Check. So what's the meterage on this? Try and measure it out again, see where I'm at here. So it's right on the 20 and a half. Let's see, so 20.5. 67, so we could fit a full 53 footer on here. We could fit 2 pups at 28 feet. So I could cut a couple meters out of this. Let's cut some meterage out of this. It's a little bit on the big side for me. I could cut out probably a maximum of probably like 3 meters out of there. Let's see if I can get 3 meters out. It's 12 blocks out of the center. That's 20. So I could probably cut a most 12. So let's give a measure on this. 20. It's not even, which sucks. Just do. So like I had probably too much buffer in there of where I needed for buffering. I want to be able to put pups on here. Pups are 28 feet, so let's see what that is. 28 is 8.5 and change. So 8.5 is right there. So that is 1 pup sitting on here. That is 2 pups sitting on there. Let's cut out. I need to be able to attach them to the 5th wheels. The pups, I could probably get them super tight. Let's hope my craning skills are not horrifically bad. What do we have here? 1, 2, 5. So let's cut it down 4 banger right there. So let's see if we can. I want to tighten this up a little bit. Let's see if we can. It's gonna be a bitch to load 28 footers like this, but I'll take the challenge here. I'll try to get them on there. All right, so that will be able to be load on pups as well. This might have to widen out. This car might be a wide car. I'll have to think of that. Oh, I want to do that. Because widening the car out is not the end of the world, but it's not my preference either. All right, so let's spawn that real quick. So let's put on some quick and dirty ramps here. That's a big part of this whole car is that. We need 5th wheels, so let's work on the 5th wheel. The 5th wheel is going to be a big to-do as well. So that's a big technical element there because a pup... okay, so I need to do some freaking measurement, which is not great. Let's see, you all merged up still? You are. Okay. Let's go ahead and save this. Let's grab the 45. Let's check the pups. I have pups. I believe I have pups. Here's container pups. Let's see where the 5th wheel on a pup lies. Okay, so the width is perfect. All right, so we might be all right with width here. It's gonna be right on the hairy edge. I'll put a lip on this, but that is right on the hairy edge there. So I'm thinking that's the position of pup 1. Okay, so we're not too bad here, right? Because I can actually go further forward, so we might be able to yank. I can yank some more ass out of this thing. We're right on top of the... there. And I'll do a flip-up 5th wheel to go here. Okay, good. So that... I can cut this even more, too. So let's see. I want at least a block behind the pup. So let's do that. I don't want to go too crazy on making this thing small and then it can't do anything. So let's leave a... Oh, you fucker, you. What's the gap on these three? Nah, it works. Okay. So I'm thinking that's probably a good length there. That could fit two. So the crane will load these anyways. These aren't getting driven on. They're craned on. And then the fifth wheel needs to pop up and hook to this fifth wheel here. And then two containers will be able to be loaded on there. And then I need a 45 on there because that's where most of my trailers are at, 45. So 45 feet. Yeah, it is two pups on there. It will fit 45 feet for sure. So it'll fit a 45-footer. Two pups on there. It'll definitely fit a 53. So 53 is 16 meters. So let's do a quick measurement here. Needs to hold a... Yep, 16 and a quarter. So as long as that's not too far back, I think the 53-footer should fit on there. That's the only questionable one is the 53-footer. All right, so let's do a quick pinky block here. Right there. Okay, perfect. That actually works out pretty well. So that's where the fifth wheel needs to come up and attach to. All right, so that's pretty good. That looks pretty good right there. Thanks, Flicky Camera, again, you bastard. All right, think I'm gonna just do simple flip up fifth wheels. Let's go ahead and cut the pups out of here, I think. Let's do that. All right, the pups are gone. This is where the fifth wheel is gonna be. We'll put a hinge there with the top of the hinge here. So let's cut. Have anything there? No. Okay. That's gonna show the stupid block that I don't like. I might extend the trailer a little bit because I need. I'm curious about the fifth wheel too, the 53-footer. I might not do hinges. Let me see. All right, I'm trying to just eyeball the mechanism here for this. Because I need to put the fifth wheel on here, and then I need to be able to also ramp stuff on. So I'm trying to decide all the different things I need to get this fifth wheel on. Trying to make it not too many sub bodies because that becomes an absolute nightmare if it has too many sub bodies. So I'm trying to be careful of that as well. So let's see what a hinge looks like here. Hinge would probably be easiest and strongest. So the problem is that the hinge has those stupid little circles that I don't like. I think we're perfect. All right, we don't have to worry about those. All right, let's go like this. Grab a hinge. All right. All right, so this will be the fifth wheel mechanism. Trying to see on the photos what direction they have the fifth wheels going. Okay, doesn't really matter, I don't think. I should have measured this again. This pup. Let's see if I can get rid of the dolly here. I might be able to measure this out from here. Yeah, I'll do the wheel height to the bottom of the connector here. It's going to be whatever that is. 5 banger. Okay, 5 banger on there. Alright, so this needs to be 5 off the deck. So that's 1 off the deck. So I need 4. Center of this needs to be, and that's going to be count as 1. So we have 3, no, we have 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks like that's where that goes right there. Okay, and I'm going to redesign this 5th wheel a little bit. Might just have it stick straight up, because I don't want to do... If you do too many sub-bodies, it loses all its strength. So try not to do that. Let's try not to lose all of its strength by cutting out all its sub-bodies. You're not going to go in there, are you son of a bitch? It's not going to fit in like that. Yeah, if I don't angle it, it's not going to want to sit properly. Yeah, I'm kind of having a... I think I'm just going to have to abandon the idea and make it look like a 5th wheel because it's... they do look a little bit different on the train, but I don't want to put on 2 subgrids. It's already pushing its luck on how strong this is going to be. So I don't want to push its luck anymore. And then this should be... what are you? 1, 2, 3... All right, so there's a 5th wheel attach point there. Needs to be flush mount with the decking too. Could go up 1. I'm afraid I'm going to hit stuff. All right, let's go with that for now, and then I want to start working on... getting this set up. So we want to go at least 3 across on either side for ramping. Like that. Let's grab this 5th wheel and stick it on the other side. Why is that so friggin' big? There we go. All right, so this 5th wheel there. Let's put a gap on, put a cross brace there, and then we'll do bracing between the rest of it. And so I just want to get a ramp test in here to make sure the ramps are going to work for me. Because they have to go past this too, which is kind of annoying. Let's test something in there for that. All right, so let's put a couple hinges in, and then I will, I think we'll start in the down position, and then they'll lift. How was that not symmetrical? Because I didn't put a block here. Okay, that's fine. That's steep as shit. Try 2s. That's not terrible. All right, so let's get this stuff out of the way here. This is a big feature of the whole thing, so I want to make sure this works. The hinges should be back. Yeah, these should be backwards. All right, and I need a truck to test this. Let's save it real quick. All right, I need to go down one more on the ramps, but we'll see what happens. I build up brake pressure. I got a different air brake system on this. This one gonna be a pain in the balls. It is. Okay. That one's broken. I forgot that friggin' truck is broken, so. What we got here? What's running? This has been run recently. This runs. That might not be the latest cab over version either. I don't think it is actually. Train brakes aren't on. Ugh. I need to put that brake controller on so I can get some braking going here. I have infinite electricity on, so I don't have to worry about that. All right, brakes. A brake, a brake, a brake. Getting a high center off the fuel tank, but I do have a drop axle, so. Oh, don't fall off, you cocksucker. That was my driving. There we go. That's why we have a crane, people. All right, so that actually worked all right. I just need to put the drop axle down on this one. It's gonna get we're gonna go a little bit lower on these too. I wanna raise them up. I wanna make sure they're not past the height of a container. That's the big thing for me. The other side. All right, so this is gonna be the ramps up. Okay, that's good. That's not too high. They can go as far as the height of a container, or the height or whatever it's holding. How's it going there, Variante? How are you? So they can go higher. They can go a little bit longer. And then fifth wheel is what? This? Fucking that's backwards too. Everything's backwards always. Nothing's easy in life. All right, let's flip this shit. These are flipped. I need to go take an allergy pill here when I get coffee. All right, that's fixed. Now you get a longer approach angle here. So we'll go 4 bangers. I can go up to 11 when I raise this, so that's how high max I really want it. The trains could probably go higher than that, but and not have a problem. But that's about where I want max, I would say. It's not the end of the world because that's the height of the container, but one more on top of that. So as long as the ramps aren't higher than that, I'm happy. Alright, so it's a little bit better of an approach angle. We did alright last time. It's not the end of the world, but this is probably too close now. Yeah, so that's a little bit high. Let's cut off. Let's start earlier and see what we can do. I want to make it as friendly as I can to the greatest number of vehicles so that there's the fifth wheel going up. Attachment there. That's still high, but get the fuck out of the way there, Mac. Give that a load, see what happens. I'm gonna hit the mirrors. I'm gonna get rid of pink blocks. Weren't too bad with the loading. Kind of. Let's go. We weren't that far off. We high centered a little bit. Wasn't that terrible though. Let's try that. I should be able to measure this out and see where the hell we're at here. Get me a measure from there. That is 14, so it's still 3 over those. Let's go. See what we can do here. Just try straight 2s. Screw it. Yeah, that's 12. That's on the money there. All right. I don't know what it is, allergy-wise. I had COVID a couple of years ago, and I then got quote-unquote allergies, and it's you know, I think it's mostly just a effect of post-COVID nonsense, and it's you know, they did allergy tests. They were like mold, dust mites, and dogs, and I've had dogs my whole life. I've never had anything with dogs. She pissed me off with that one, but it's not anything to do with that. You know, I around dogs all the time. I have no issues with it. It's certain foods will do it, which I haven't eaten anything today, so that's why it's kind of weird. I think it's just a result of COVID, and it's, you know, every once in a while my freaking throat just starts to close up. So the it's you know, COVID is an inflammatory disease or whatever, so it's it causes inflammation, and that causes the same effect as like what a lot of allergies do. So it kind of looks like allergies, but it's not necessarily that. So I'm gonna go take a quick coffee, and then I'll come back. after I do the allergy thing, and we'll continue to work on this. So this is fun. This is going to be pretty utilitarian. So I'll be right back. What did you guys do when I was gone? The truck fell. So I probably will end up doing the floor all the way across. I was going to try to do a gap, but I think I'm just going to... I'm going to put cross bracing in there at least. But so that fits pretty well. We'll have to work on some sort of... So likely most of my trucks have pintles. And so I'll just lock up the pintles to the train. That should help. We'll do some locking systems. Like there's a pintle right there. But this should help me to be able to load some trucks on trains. Fifth wheels. Let's play with the fifth wheel a little bit. So that ramp-wise, that works pretty well. What I could do is let's shorten them up like that and put variable approach angles on like that. Let's do another load test real quick with that. I don't care if they're sticking up 14s, not bad. Why are they hitting now? Why are those fucking hitting now? What the fuck? What the fuck, man? I can put a gap in there too for that part. The cat thinks that every time that I get out of my seat that he should get a treat, and it's not the dude, get out of the way. It's not how things work there, guy. All right, so that's good. And then I can come up with some systems, too, that will work well for locking these up. For example, we already have locking lugs here for the containers. So adding a mechanism that will allow me to easily hook on to pintles is not that difficult. It's funny when you guys put on like waving hands and stuff on the Restream chat, it comes up, it says what they're called. So like the pink hand goes hello pink hand waving, and then like Variante puts up turquoise waving person, turquoise waving person, turquoise waving person. I think it's funny that Restream says the name of it. All right, so that ramp works well. I've got this dolly here. I'll grab the rear pup here, and we'll throw this on. I'll cut out the dolly here. These, like, when you're making these dollies in game, it's unfortunate. They don't like to work on subgrids, and so the dollies don't work well. You have to use you have to make a hard connected dolly, and so unfortunately you can't make proper dollies. The game doesn't like it. It's moving too low in the subgrid hierarchy, and it gets all confused. So so it doesn't really like that. So you kind of can't operate like that all that well. All right, let's quickly save this again. I'm just trying to make sure I can cut stuff out before I accidentally test something that I can't cut out easily. I'm going to see if I can slide these fifth wheels up and grab. Right there is good. So there's a set of pups on the trailer. I don't use the pups much because the dollies, but that'll be good from time to time to use. It's on the other side. Wrong one. There we go. So there's one pup loaded up. That one's not connected, but that looks good. Yep, that fits in well, and that should sit. I don't know if the ass of these trailers are going to hate this or not, sliding around, but we'll see. We'll see if they behave themselves. The problem is these connectors will... I could put mags on there too, but I don't like putting friggin' maggles and everything. So we'll see how that behaves later when that's running, but, you know, and then, so that there is a pair of pups. So there's two 28s. Thanks, Flicky Camera. I really appreciate that. That's real helpful. Thanks, guy. And then let's load in LC53. So here's the LC53. Let's see if that fits. That's going to be right there. Right there. Yep, LC53 fits. So that's a 53 footer, which will take two containers. That's my standard 53 foot trailers are on that. All right, that holds that. Nice. So that should that's pretty versatile. All right, good. We'll work on this for a little bit longer, and then I'm going to move on, I think. But yeah, this is nice that this really this will be a nice multi-purpose trailer. I'm trying to get all the stuff done so that we can get back into multiplayer this week. No idea what day of the week. I have a bunch of appointments this week, so we'll have to see what days I can get in to do on that. Because I kind of want to schedule that a little bit more. Be scheduled than just seat of the pants. Maybe we'll do that. Actually, I don't want to do that because of this. Let's leave this open a little here, and then we'll do another row here. And then I'll cross-hatch the middle on this. I'll do some further detailing. Like look like, you know, make the areas where the vehicle sits a little bit better. That's off by 1, of course. Why wouldn't it be? I got an... Yeah, those are evens. Okay. Yeah, so I think this would be a cool idea for a trailer. I'm going to look at the wheels again really quick and then probably move on from this VR. So let's see if I can slide in a triple set or doubles and not have it be uggy. And then I'll put in a little bit of facade, but I can work on this later. I'm just trying to see. Wanted to make sure we were fitting in all right and make sure the approach angle's low enough. Like these are much taller, so yeah, I'm not gonna be able to get in full size, I don't think. I do not think I'll be able to get a full size in here. Let's go back with the 3s and see. If that gets me low enough, I can do a loading trailer here. See if I can somehow sneak this in here. It fits. It, like, the wheels are able to clip a little bit. You see how much the wheel's clipping? So I can do a little wheel clipping. I can do some... I'll do it just for safety's sake, but I can do some... The only place... So the wheels are clipping here and here. I can put in some... I don't think it's going to cause any problems, but I could put in wedges. We'll see if it slides with those wheels in like that, but... I guess they are working as compact. So they'll fit in the same amount of space. They just look like they won't. So, and then let's go. That's probably too low there. Let's see. We'll see when we get this out. Drop it back on the track, see if that's going to be in the way. Where did I go? Right to the post? Right to the post. Okay. Right to the post. Camera is just pissing me off today. We want one higher than that, probably. Actually, no. Perfect. Okay, that's good. And they're solid on the example. I think I might do lattice on this. Kind of like the lattice look. And watch this be an even number. It does not. Look at that. Oh, there we go. It's a nice lattice frame on that. All right, good. So there's lattice frame on there. So I like this. So this will hold 2 containers. It will hold 28s, 45s, 53s, a vehicle. So this is pretty versatile. This should do quite a bit of work for us here. Yeah, this could be versatile. I like that. This was hitting on this, but that's not the end of the world. I'm not really all that giving a shit. But yeah, that should be that should work pretty well for us. So yeah, I'm digging it. And then even let's quickly check if I load it up too. I want to make sure the ramps don't go by the coupler. Likely, you're not gonna have two of these sitting up against each other anyway. So yeah, if we had two on the ramp side, it would do that. But likely, I'm not gonna put a ramp on both sides. It's just gonna have the one ramp on the one side, and that will that'll take care of that issue, I think. But yeah, so this should be a nice versatile trailer that can, piece of rolling stock that can do a bunch of stuff. So yeah, they still roll. Nope, this one's not merged. Maybe merge that one, huh? Looks merged. Is it not merged? It's acting funky. Were we not on the tracks? What the hell is this? Which one's not merged? This one's not merged. All right. Looked almost identical color. So, okay. That one was not merged. The color looked almost identical. So they free roll, no problems. The wheels roll, they're in the blocks clipping, so. But that's kind of a cool piece of rolling stock. We'll save this, we'll move on from here, but that is, I like that. That's going to be useful. Another piece of kit down. Excellent, 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 excellent. Thank you again to the guys who are watching on Twitch. That helps me out there. I'm trying to get there. We're doing well on Twitch, so be nice to be able to have another place to stream as well. All right, good. So let's get off this train business. So we got cranes, we got trains. Let's go do a little bit of some career here. So I'll load up the save. I cleaned up my saves here. I had like 900 saves. I cleaned them up. So we're I'm going to make a new multiplayer world when we do go back to multiplayer. I'm going to do it without space DLC enabled so that we can make sure we get CG in. Alrighty, alrighty. Glad everybody is enjoying the Patney. Again, I'm going to try to get more builds out. I'm going to probably do that little series where I feel like building something new for try to get it out that week. We'll do an episode of that. Good to have new series. All right, so let's see. I've been in this world a while. I started a friggin' oil spill that I got to deal with at some point. Patway's over there. We got a long distance rescue I'm not doing. Let's go ahead and take no clip off. And let's try to go get a mission for our sins here. What is going on there? Headlights not working? The fuck, man? Why are my headlights not working here? Did I break something? Urgh. I did. I broke electricity. Awesome. Let's fix that. Put that back up on the workbench. Give me the right color, you donkey. I'm gonna find where this one colors in at. Oh, it's gonna be pain. No, today's gonna be pain. Alright, that's painted now. What broke on electricity here? Lights. Did I accidentally do a color swap somewhere and that fucked my lights off? No, that's not it. What happened to the lights? Why did my lights get ballsed up? They were working when I released it. I friggin' tested it. Hazards. Maybe I was pressing the wrong button. Look, what is 3 is hazards. What are headlights for? I think I hit the wrong button. Let me check. I knew I adjusted this a bunch. I was like, how the hell did I screw that up? Alright, let's do headlights. There we go. Alright, I hit the wrong button. The me problem. Not a me yesterday problem. A little bit quicker on steering now. Probably down the p-value just a little bit, but I'll do a little more testing on this and get this out. I'll keep updating this. All right, there we go. There's the door handle for people who couldn't find the door handle. All right, river barge servicing. Let's see, where are we at there? I don't know, not doing all that shit. It's not bad, but I don't want to sit on a boat for 20 minutes. Do not want to sit on a boat for 20 minutes. A small boat requires servicing at the fishing island village. What the hell? It's tow. Look at that. It's tow boat season here. It's funny. It gets like in this little loop where it does that. The way to get good railing was to edit the values. Yeah, XML edit it. Yeah, trying to avoid that. It'd be nice if I would really like the devs to just put a derailer button on there. That'd be really. I think it fix river barge. Let's see. I really don't want to do any of these. I might move some containers or something. Let's see what I want to do. I'm trying to think what vehicles I want to use. Search the area and locate the emergency. All right, so it's emergency 13. It's got to be within this river here. I'm trying to see if I can take an airplane and land. And if I can take a plane in and land, I'll take the peeps out. Let's take, I played with this last day. This is what I want to use. All right, let's use the Antonov 2. What's the wind at? I'm not running with, okay, good. We're at 40%. We can run with 40% wind. Feel like an airplane, so. Somebody will tell me this is too slow at 90 miles an hour, probably, at some point. All right, let's do Ant 2. Make sure all the nonsense is off. All right. Take the Antonov 2 out. The slats have been giving me all sorts of problems. I tested it yesterday and they were not, so hopefully they don't give me a bunch of bullshit problems today, because that was annoying when they were doing that. Go. The other thing that would be kind of cool is they have air starters on a bunch of different, like this would have it has a centrifugal starter. You start the centrifuge and then you attach it and it starts it. Air starts would be cool. That's another reason to like do pneumatics. So I'll do a pneumatic video at some point, try to see if I can pique the devs' interest. Where is the wind from? The left? Okay. Let's go 50% on the flaps here. There we go. All right, nav, strobes, landing taxi. Let's go, go, go. This plane was well known for its very slow speed handling, and that's kind of what it's known for. So I can land at like 40 knots in this thing. The real one could land around there too, so it's kind of cool. Wind's pretty strong right now. Is it gonna, the slats gonna give me problems or not? I'm trying to see if the slats are gonna give me problems or not. Alright, so we're looking to go down the river right there where the bridge crosses. So we're coming up on the first set of double bridges is here. So we're right here. We're going to follow the river down. BFR our way in there. Wind's pretty strong at the moment. There's one of the barges up here. Yeah, one of the barges is sitting up here. I actually don't, probably shouldn't have flown this close to it. I don't want it to activate. But whatever, I think we'll be alright. I probably do need to keep an eye on cooling here. This one does need a cooling rework, so what I'm going to do is just for now, make sure that engine overheating is disabled. And then, so cooling is actually not too bad right now. Use regular radiators, use impellers, and you're good. You want even more cooling, use electric radiators and impellers. But I think the impellers are putting out really good performance for cooling. You know, you can use really low RPS and get really effective flow rates. I think the main thing is the issue being that like if you try to do air cooling now, the issue is that the air cooler does not spawn with enough water, and then you're not able to circulate enough water, and so you know, the radiators spawn with copious amounts of water, and that allows you to easily move that water around. Alright, so expect around this next bend is where we're looking for this rescue, and then we're going to land on the shore. I need to keep an eye on my wind. My wind should be coming from this quarter right here, so we need to come around. We're not doing a quartering tailwind. I'd rather not crash. You can see it. Yep, that was a quartering tailwind. I can see off the water. You can see the streamers off the water, which direction the wind's going. Alright, so expect coming up here. Let's shut off the landing light here. Alright, so there it is right there. Alright, perfect. Alright, let's start flapping in here. Put the prop forward. Try to do flaps with one hand, doesn't do everything else. Trying to read the terrain here. It's kind of tough, especially with the low light. All right. Wind is overly strong here. So the door comes in there so you can have parachute. It's, you have the door go out, you can't open it during flight. Door goes in, you can open it during flight. It's kind of a hike here. Probably should have gone the other shore. I'll see you later there, Amanda. Thanks for hanging out. Probably could have put it right there, I would say, and be a little bit easier. Just gonna do some no clipping here to get there. We'll have to take us a while to get back, but no point in watching me hop like a jackass for 25 minutes. Oh, this mission is not conducive to this. I'm gonna leave all these people to die. They're all like, we got 20 of them dead on the deck already. I have no equipment. I just wanted to take the plane out for a flight, so fuck off. I'm not doing that mission. Oh, you can stick that mission up your ass there, game. I'm not doing it. Look at that. This door is having a, that door was having a problem. It's not anymore. I do have all the shit I need, but I'm too far from that to be doing that shit. Let me see. Yeah, it seems like my issue that I was having with the slats isn't coming in anymore. So the slats, the way they work in real life is they're just like on bungee cords. And so they, when you slow down, your angle of attack increases, and they would just pop out. And so I have them as automatic, and the problem is they have to be on linear tracks or on pistons, or in pistons in this case. And so they get some they were getting phantom forces, and they're not getting them anymore, which is annoying. There are all those buffaloes. So I do have all the equipment. We'll get closer. So I just don't want to run back and forth 2,800 times here. Definitely just want to be landing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That was the phantom force there. That was 70 knots is when the slats come out. There we go. Let me get closer here. You know, so essentially, like, it looked like we stopped super short. That's because we have a good headwind. This plane has a stall speed of like 40, 35, 40 knots IRL, so it, you know, you could actually do something like that IRL. If you had a 120 knot wind coming directly in front of you, you theoretically could land, you know, you could land a commercial jet straight. You know, it would have no relative velocity against the ground. It would just seem like you just hovered it in, you know. You know, strong headwind, you pretty much don't need much forward movement. We'll see what we can do with this rescue. It's kind of going to be a little bit of a mess. But I just want to take the Antonov 2 out, so it's kind of, I'm just going to no-clip over there because we got to try to minimize this bullshit that I got to do here. The fire is really out of control here, so. Yeah, I can't even get close to it. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to fight that fire. All right, screw you, people. We'll take the live ones. I didn't mean to get to that intimate with you there, sir. But, yeah, there were better tools to go do this mission, but I more cared that I wanted to do it. You know. All right, you better be following me, jackass. Jackass, stop following me. I'm just going to lead him into the fire and get him burned for not following me. Go on, asshole. Let's follow me. Being a jerk. Follow. Thank you. Let's go. Come on. You can be amongst the dead if you'd like. More than willing to leave you amongst the dead, sir. He already had an eye patch, so he doesn't learn, it seems. Two died. Good, so don't have to worry about those people anyway. All right, let's get back to the ant. We'll go dump these people off. So I think that's a good, cool bit of rolling stock to have. You know, nice multi-purpose car for the train. You better be following me. Hey, look at that. You get to live today, sir. Do I have the time stalled? Nope, override time's off. All right. We're going in tonight. I was like, do I have it stalled at dusk? Because we've been on dusk for a while here. Trying to think of some cool builds I'd like to make next. Kind of think of what I want to do that, you know, with the builds I want to release in the workshop. Am I swimming? Am I making any forward progress here? Feels like I'm making no forward progress. Come on. We're moving. It's just it's like it's very slow. It's cool to see everybody's approach the ultralights. See what is up next? It's got to be land, right? I think it's land. Got no idea what that's going to be. It's definitely premature to start thinking about that one. I'm leaning more towards shorter build times. That helps to decrease the number of people who can join and decrease the complexity of certain things, because it's like it already takes a ton of time when you get a bunch of people. Like, you know, I was trying to keep the build challenge to 2 weeks, and then the devs screwed up some stuff, so I had to extend it a week, and then that brought in probably 3 or 4 more people who had time to build, which was nice to see all the builds, but it makes the videos longer and longer. So where is Jackass? Oh, if I had a gun, I would shoot you. Straighten up and fly right, asshole. There we go. What a jerk. What a jerk. All right, let's get out of here. Parking brake, parking brake, parking brake. Ugh. Afraid to go in the water. When's the hospital? I can't tell. That one, no, that's the village. I think the hospital's over here to my left. If memory serves. There it is, right there. 12. Okay. This wind is overly strong. Like you should be weather vaning in the wind. See how it's trying to weather vane me? Well, like I can't like my rudder can't overcome it. It can, but it's overbearing, that wind there. It's not terrible, but it's a little bit on the strong side for where it should be probably. I also do have full flaps in, and I'm not going that fast, so. That's why they have max demonstrated crosswind in airplanes. It's not a limitation. It's the max crosswind at which they demonstrated the aircraft, and so they had a test pilot out there, and that's the max crosswind they tested it in. And so, especially for like amateur pilots, it's like you don't want to be. Oh, shit! I just bashed the propeller. God damn it. Get out of the seat and fuck off. The balls that landing up real bad. It's the wind's too strong. I gotta shut the wind down. That's just too much. Where are we at? Yeah. Wind's excessive. Not gonna be able to work with that. If I could, I'd just shoot you 2 people for being annoying and causing me to crash my airplane. Ridiculous amount of wind. I probably should have put it down or just not taken the plane on this trip here. All right. Let's go get the $2 for you guys. Oh my god, I am going to shoot these 2 people in 2 seconds. Well, I don't carry a gun on me. Why, well, I don't carry a gun on me. Hey, asshole. It was me. It was my fault for doing bunny hops the whole time. I was trying to speed up by doing bunny hops. And that's what happens is they end up jumping out of your range, and you're faster than they are. They can't bunny hop as effectively as you can, and then they get out of your range and they stop, which is, to a certain extent, convenient because you don't want them running off on their own doing stupid bullshit. You kind of want them, when they get out of range, to stop, but it does make it annoying. All right, so we have a tool for this now, so let's go ahead and find where we are. All right, let's see. Meyer Islands. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's not do that. We actually are reasonably close to the gas station. Let's spawn the crane and drive it over. That's what we'll do. Be a little less cheaty. I don't have any. Do I have lights on this? I think I did put lights on this, actually, yeah. Yeah, with this camera down here, I can actually see where I'm going now, too, off that right side, so that's convenient. But this is why I want to get that crane finished, as so many times I need it. It is helpful. Cut across the desert here a little bit. Not that much time savings to cut across the desert. See, we're over here. We want to head up in there. Just around this, this kind of tabletop. Like with this, you see, I'm very slowly raising temp. I'm revved up pretty high here. I'm at 1100 almost, so just under 20 RPS. Not really having any cooling problems, and a big part of it is that impeller is very effective. We get even higher flow rates than we did before the pressure update, and alongside those higher flow rates, using a radiator, like a stock radiator, you're able to get pretty good water rates, water flows on there. Turn on my hazards here. This is hazardous work here. All right, hopefully, let's see, we're on this side road. Okay, we want the right path. All right, we want the right path when we come up here. So, make sure we're in the right spot here. We're next to the train tracks. So, I'm on the wrong road. We're coming up this road here, that's fine, and then we can cut left. All right. Put on my cruise control here. So yeah, like we're only up to 28 degrees, and I'm revving us out at, you know, almost 20 RPS, and we have no problem keeping it cool because the impellers are just really effective now. The issue is that the devs didn't balance out a bunch of the cooling mechanisms. Again, you know, they talk about, you know, I think something's coming out this coming Wednesday, but, you know, it was called Fixes and Reworks, upcoming Fixes and Reworks. And so, you know, people have been asking for reworks for some of the cooling parts. Could be that, could be a bunch of things, you know, so you never know. All right, we'll go flip the Ant 2, and then I'll probably just despawn this back, and we'll get out of here. I just wanted to give it a ride, too. I need to do some testing with this, so just spawn it with an add-on is not going to give me much driving experience to test it out, you know. So, there it is. We're right over there, and then this town right here. Yeah, I don't want this crane going too fast. Could we probably grab a couple gears? Yeah, maybe I'll extend the gear ratios on this. You know, what are we going here? We're currently going 30 miles an hour. Maybe get this up to 50. That would probably be more useful and utilitarian. It's not bad, but 50 is about where these cranes would probably actually go IRL. Ooh, there's some moo cows. But I think there's like, you know, I think there's a good, they could do some good stuff with farming. Definitely, like, we already have cows, we have bison, we have things like that which we could, they already have the mechanics in game where you could get people to follow you. I don't think it'd be that hard to add some mechanic where animals could follow you. And then if you have animals that can follow you, you can easily pen them in and then, you know, utilize them, you know. But in some, you know, easy breeding mechanic where, like, you have a bull that's within 10 kilometers of females and they get, you know, and then after a certain number of time, then a calf appears within the vicinity, like within 3 meters of the cow. And then that's how you get that going, and then over a certain number of hours, they go from, you know, from calf stage 1 to 2, 3, and then they're fully grown. And then you have them follow you and you sell them, you know, and that's pretty simple mechanic they can add that adds a good bit of gameplay. Having this weird, like, it kicks left. I gotta figure out what that's all about. The fucking wind is still hitting me that hard. I'm gonna be annoyed. I can't tell if it's the vehicle or the wind, so. Trying to see what. I'm having that problem where I can't turn left again. What the fuck? It'll work on this build. I'm having a problem where I can't turn left properly. So I gotta see what is up with that. That's making me. It might just be a maxing out the steer angle on those tires and then cause problems, but I don't know. I gotta play with it. See. You know, it's likely it could be Phantom Forces. This has a lot of shit going on here with it, so. There's a lot of sub-bodies, a lot of moving parts. Could likely be something with that, so. What is going on? Jesus Christ, something is clipping somewhere. I have a clipping somewhere. I gotta work on that. Something is clipping 100% somewhere, so. Gotta work on that. Oh, I remember too, is I gotta fix something on the mag all. God damn it, did something else break on this crane? Yep. Can't get the friggin' winch to go down. With the W key for some reason. It just was testing this last night. It probably broke something last night. Gotta fix. Go out, please. Thank you. Yeah, I gotta fix that mag all. I can't get it to shut off, so I can manually detach it, but okay. See if I can get a reasonable picture with this. Okay, why is that so funked up? Why did those mags come undone? That's what I want to know. Something happened on those mags that got them to come undone. Alright. I can't. It's gonna tip my crane over, isn't it? You son of a bitch. So I gotta play with the mag-alls too. I added all that stuff on last night for the new support system, and I don't think I did electricity correctly, so I have to fix all that. So bunch of stuff that I just edited last night that I did not finish. So. Alright, there we go. That doesn't work. I have to fix that. That's the magnet not detaching, so I have to do something with that. If I want, I can grab this cable. Grab that cable, it'll detach. So there we go. There we go. All right, let's get rid of the crane. So it's part of the testing phase. I gotta do a lot of testing on this stuff. Still not done. Okay. Why did you not get called on the workbench properly? Go in there, please. Okay. It's my plane. I just went and delivered some people. So this is my Antonov 2. The wind was up too high. It was a little bit ridiculous. And ended up hitting it. Didn't know the engine was still turning. Good to know. Can't jump over the slats, I don't think. Trying to jump up. I can't. I don't know if I can get on the tail. I've tried it before. I don't think I can. I think we're pretty good, but a couple of things here and there, I think. My once-a-year crash here. Pretty good. Famous last words, I know. But... all right, let's get out of here. Let's head back to FJ. Did I have 2 fire extinguishers? There we go. I did. Okay. Alright, park brake is released. Hold the brakes. Flaps coming up. And I'll head back to FJ. I was doing some rescues, or attempting it. Rescue got all ballsed up. It was not the ideal vehicle to be taking on that rescue. The wind was too high, cracked it up on landing. I didn't give myself enough space to land, so I started trying to turn to make sure I didn't hit something. Cracked it up. All right, this is FJ12. Yeah, so let's I'll work on the cooling system for this airplane as some might find that interesting with the new kind of cooling mechanics. So eventually I'll do a new cooling tutorial. I did one right before the pressure update came out, kind of to, you know, this is the way it used to work, and then do a new one when it's pretty settled. I wouldn't say it's completely settled. I kind of want to see what they're going to do Wednesday, you know, but kind of talk about how things are looking presently with cooling. But, you know, I'm not having any cooling problems, but I'm using the right equipment. So, you know, I'll show you. We'll fix the cooling on this. Like this, as you can see, is at 112, so this one would be going south here pretty soon. If I had overheating still turned on. This plane can go very slow. That's kind of its claim to fame, was the Ant 2. You just fall in leaf into the ground. So like this is at 65 knots. This is like what some of the slowest ultralights were landing at in the challenge. I can land at 40 in this because it's got 4 small control surfaces in the wings, plus it has, you know, 2 small ones on the tail, and that really gives it a lot of lift, and it has a lot of flap. It actually has more than that. No, yeah, it's got what 8 in the biplane, and then it has 2 in the back, so it adds a lot of lift. And so I can get this down to a realistic approach speed with that. So like, yeah, we'd be all right now for temp, but probably would have overheated there for a sec. And this is that little room if anyone's interested in the back. This is the tail section. There was a little room back there where they put little storage, some radios. The radios would go in there. All right, so let's check the current cooling, and we'll see if we can't quickly just fix. So we have dual radiators here. They're pumped. We're going to get rid of the pumps. So let's go ahead and I'm going to do no symmetry. I think they're reasonably symmetrical, but I really don't want to balls them up. So what is that there? That's cooling loop. This one needed a lot of cooling. I think we'll be all right once I get to put on impellers. So I think we'll be in much better shape. That's fuel right there. Why do I have a fuel pump? I did a fuel pump because you have a fuel boost pump in the real Ant 2, so I put a fuel pump in there. Remember now why I did that. You don't need it, but it was for RP reasons. All right, so this actually has a lot of cooling ability because we have 2 of these radiators, and then I have a third electric radiator, I believe, back there. Let's save this real quick because I want to go in the test world for this. So let's see, AN2, new cooling 3 underscore, what's today's date? 24. Okay. So let's go back in we'll save this real quick. 24. And we'll go back into the custom game, so I can test and not have issues with wasting my monies. But that's cool. That train car. I'm gonna save it to the. Now let's save it to Stormworks. There we go, and that way I have that for later. All right, good. All right, so let's continue working on this cooling system here. So cooling is better in a lot of ways, I would say. I find it a little bit more space conscious now because before I had 6 small electric pumps going to this to be able to cool it because the flow rates were pretty low before, and now we have higher flow rates. And so the impeller, oh Jesus, this is gonna be a problem. Crap. Okay, this actually isn't too big of a deal. The problem this had before was that I couldn't loop around the gearing because of the cooling. Now I should be able to. So what I want to do is, let's grab this. So, fuck, I didn't mean to do that. I'm already doing stuff I don't want to. So like one thing a lot of people where their airplanes don't get very efficient is like an airplane like this that has plenty of power. This is geared out to a 7.5 to 1 gear ratio on there. So I gear pretty high on most of my airplanes, and that really helps with getting them to be efficient. So I need to get this back to there. All right, so we need to go. So because of all the cooling, like I needed 6 of these small pumps. Well, they're 3x1s, plus they need pipes on either end of them. So they're essentially 4x1s. And so you have 2 4x1s I need to loop through a cooling loop. Now with impellers are tiny. And you can run them pretty much anywhere. And I think the impellers are the way to go now. All right, let's go pipe. Can we go up? Up or down, it's irrelevant. All right, so we'll go up the gearbox here. We'll go down to start with. What do we have here? It's a 5, 2, 3, 1, essentially. So face toward the engine. 3152, right? 3152, yeah. Okay, so 7.5 to 1 gear ratio. So I couldn't do this looping around because I needed all the space before for all those pumps. This thing had a ridiculous amount of pumps. All right, so now with this, I can really loop this in there and loop it to where it needs to go to the propeller. I don't need as much space for all of the cooling that I did previously. All right, I had to do all this because I need to get power off the engine for impellers now. That's why I had to do all the, kind of change that up a little bit. And I think I'll just put a facade piece there like that. So there we go. The, it's a big radial in there, so it has all these intakes. That's kind of why I did the style here. Those can go. All right, and then you don't need to gear it up. Again, the impellers hit their max pretty fast, so you don't really need to gear them up at all. So let's go ahead, and symmetry's still off. Let's cut this one. So I'm going to see if I can get rid of the electric radiator altogether. That's kind of my hope. So I'm hoping I can run this with 2 of these radiators and be fine. Okay, we're good there. Okay, and then let's see. Or if you want to loop this through. So let's go like that. So I want to run my run as short as possible. I'm going to cut that. Cut that. I mean to do that. Let's get this one here. Which one is it? This one. So I had to run like 3 cooling loops on this before. So I should be able to run this pretty minimally now. And we'll see if this cools out. Shit, that's gonna be a pain in the ass right there, isn't it? Let's see. How do we want to do this? I can run it right there. So let's cut you, put this in here. Okay, we'll do it like that. So using these manifold pieces, you shorten your run, and so you don't need as much of a run for the cooling loops. So that's helpful. That helps keep your pressures up. All right, there we go. And then let's see. So that's much more space conscious. You know, the 1x3s turned into 1x4s makes it tough. This gives me really good space consciousness there. So it really doesn't take a ton of space to do that. Okay. And then I want, let's see. So I'm going to try to completely get rid of that last loop, that electric radiator loop, if I can. I should be able to. Okay. And then we can push off that. Okay, perfect. This is shit. This is off. Okay, that's the geared up one on the left side. So I don't really want that. That's going to take power away from the engine. I don't need to lose. So I need to fix that. Yeah, I'll work on that in a second. Go one back on that. I have fixed the other side now. Okay, so that's plumbed in, and then we need to plumb in this here. So we want straight manifold there. All right, so that side's plumbed in. This side I need to fix because this is going through a gearbox already. And I don't really want that. I want it to come straight off of the drive shaft, so that's a little bit, that's going to run that 701 there. Is it that big of a deal to have to worry about it? I might worry about it. Let's look over here. I'm trying to think how I want to do this, how do I want to reroute this. If I could bring that up, I still can't hook into there because the way I have that cooling manifold set up. Let's run it like this. It might be a little bit. It's going to steal some power, but it could be negligible too. It might not really be worth. We'll see you later there, Rasmus. Thanks for hanging out. So let's check this. We'll give this a run up. Okay, I didn't need to hold the starter that long, but I was just being extra cautious. All right, let's go ahead and I want to see what the flow rates are on that. One of them is geared way up, so the RPS will be higher, but the flow rate won't change because it should cap out. So you notice we're doing 157 liters per second. Again, when people will bitch about the pressure update, we used to get 75 liters per second on the old pumps. So this is double. So cooling is actually easier now than it was before. We're getting much higher flow rates, and flow rate is king. Look at this side. So this side that's geared up is at 157 liters per second. This other side that's not geared up is at 60 liters per second. So I actually should probably gear both sides up. It's actually working better. So I'll gear both sides up. Well, you can see that that is giving us really high flow rates. 31 liters in the radiator, 63 liters. So this one's moving slower. Let's check the temps and see how our temperature fares now with this. And we'll see how our power goes. We could do like 130 max speed. So we'll see how much power it's stealing from us, but for the most part it seems pretty negligible. We'll see though. It might be taking a bunch of power. I gotta look. Currently having an issue powering up right now. See what's going on here. Alright, so we're having a problem powering up. I wonder if I'm stealing too much. Let's see. This side's running at a very high gear ratio. Let's see if I can move some stuff around here. Okay, let's try this. Let's take this T-piece corner here. Because I don't want to, I'll get a higher flow rate, but if I can't get my engine spun up, we're going to have problems. So let's see. Okay, that will go like that. That will go like that. Those are now twins, which I like better. So actually go on there. Okay, I've got the loop here, so I know where I want to go. All right, good. So let's go standard T-piece here. All right, and then I'll tee off of this. And then we'll take a gearbox, face it toward the engine, 5-2. All right, we'll come up, we'll loop. And then I can actually fix some stuff too that I like the way it was before. All right, perfect. Give me a 3-1. So 7.5 to 1 ratio. All right, good. And then this is going to go like that. And then this will go up. Beauteous. That's better. All right, good. So that's better. And then I can put in these back the way they were, like that. And what this can go, right? What is that? Yep, that needs to be, nope. So that has to go back the way it was, right? Trying to see where the hell I am here. Okay, I do need that there to be able to get in, so. Okay, so that is going to be... I always press the wrong button. Let's see, which one? Come on. Okay, that's perfect. And then we just grab another one of those. We can go right in. So that's good. All right, good. So that's re-looped there. That should work. 3152. All right. Could be something else I broke because I did cut a bunch of shit out of here, but let's see why we're not revving up. You know, easy fix is also to just like put the gear ratios to 1-to-1 to make sure I'm not over stressing it. All right, there we go. We're definitely less stressed now. So you really don't need that much RPS. I think it was like 7-something RPS gave me pretty much max flow rate on the pumps. All right, we'll be taking off here in a second. There we go. We'll keep an eye on this temp. So yeah, you really don't need that much. Like, we were at idle doing 60 liters per second. You know, we were at very low RPS and keeping 60 liters per second. Our top speed is still right around where an Antonov 2 should be. Again, this is supposed to be more of a replica, so I want all the speeds where it should be AN2 max. Let's just do VNE. AN2 VNE. VNEs never exceed. Let's see. See if I find V speeds for this. Okay, of course not. I type in exactly what I want, and Google's like, here, just go to Wikipedia. And it's like, fuck off, you didn't give me what I asked for. I asked for a specific V speed. Let's see. VNE of 162 is VNE. That can be in a dive, too. VNO is, let's see, let's go to, I'll go to the specs. There's an actual Antonov Flyer specs page. Let's see. I'm trying to see if I can find all the V speeds here. Give me V speeds. All right, so I'm watching the temp. So I have the propeller all the way forward, so we expect to overheat at this setup. You should be pulling the propeller back. Okay, max speed is 139 knots, so we're close to that. We're at 122. I'm happy with that. And it says 120 is more typical. So we're hitting 130. We're around 120 and change in level flight, so I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and pull the prop back. Economy cruise in this airplane is 100 knots. So that's max prop back, so increasing the prop pitch. This has a constant speed propeller system on it. I want around 100 knots. So we're a little bit slow there with prop all the way back. So I'll probably limit the prop again. Putting the prop back forward again. There we go. Prop's coming in again. So that's just my constant speed propeller changed a little bit there. Why is my prop not? Is my prop going in? There we go. Okay, I got prop going back in now. Why is the fucking propeller not going back in? The other thing too is that I believe this was supercharged and they changed that, so why is my propeller not going in? Trying to get the propeller pushed back in. Trying to drop the prop angle and I can't do it. It's not letting me drop the prop angle, so I don't know what's up with that. I don't have the flaps in, but... Alright, so cooling looks fine now. Let's go ahead and save this as a version. I'll dick with it later. But cooling looks good. I'll give it a quick run-up. Let's go ahead and... Alright, I've just disconnected the propeller so I can give it a run-up to test the cooling without having to worry about getting hit by the propeller or getting sent into space here. Alright, there we go. So I want to go back and look at the cooling with the engine at full throttle. Come on. Let's check idle too. See where we're at cooling idle. So we're currently moving 103 liters per second per side at idle. So that's really, really good flow rates for cooling. So I think the cooling has vastly improved. Again, things changed. People didn't know what the changes were, so they inevitably, hated it. So that's not a normal RPM anyway. This is normal max RPM is right around 2,000 there. 2,200. So that's about normal. So 143. So we're capped out. So yeah. So we're cooling well. So that will cool well. I'll put the prop back on. We'll save this, and we'll do something else. All right, good. So I'll work on this some off screen. I gotta just dick around with it and test it out. I don't want to do it right now. All right, let's see. What do I want to do? I'm gonna decide what I want to do here. I think we'll probably finish up there. I had a long day yesterday, so we'll just finish up there. But yeah, so that was a really good challenge. Enjoyed the challenge. Enjoyed testing out everybody's builds. Congratulations to the winners. Congratulations to all the participants. Some really good builds there. Again, like I said, tips, if you're trying to get any extra points, Workshop's the easiest thing you can do to gain some extra points on there. You know, some of the people were close on points, and if they had a better Workshop page, they would have been up in the top. But, you know, they kind of fell down the Workshop page, and that, you know, that will cost you some points there. Again, it says right there in the rules that that's worth a full 10 points. So, you know, somebody has a fantastic Workshop page and the plane handles terribly, they're going to get 10 points average. If another person has a really well-handled airplane and their Workshop page is non-existent, it's going to be completely opposite, and they're both tied. You know, so it's important to make sure that Workshop page is going good for all the reasons I talked about before. But, yep. So special thanks to all of the members and patrons. Thank you to all the subscribers. If you are new and have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. And we'll see you guys in the next one.